Welcome to Florida Gators Live, episode number 49. I kind of just guessed when I said 49 and it ended up being correct. Just occurred to me that I may be wrong there because I don't think I double checked earlier, but nope, I was right. I'm keeping track of these things. And we're getting through there almost a year now.
Yeah.
And when was the Tennessee game last year? Wouldn't that be this next week?
I think it was like first or second week of October. Yeah.
So I think that would be this week coming up. So after the Tennessee game was the first show. Obviously, we missed a couple after the season and everything like that. But it's almost been a year of shows now, and we're getting up there. We usually begin these shows talking about the Jags, but the Jags play on Monday Night Football, which is kind of a weird feeling to have. And it's kind of just my Sunday's just been nothing, just kind of waiting for this show to happen so we can talk about some more Gator football, talk about our, depending on who you ask, impressive win over Texas. I think it'll be more clear later on, just in the next week, I guess, even. Yeah. It'll become a more clear event of what happened there and what happens in the future for us. But we got nothing to talk about there. I guess we can just get right into the show, unless you have anything.
No, let's get into it. Hey, first top 10 win in a pretty long time. Well, I guess not really. Ole Miss was top 10 win last year. I was thinking Ole Miss was like just actually top 10.
A quick stat: since 2012, I think the year is 2011. I think it may have been the first year of my.
I know. Yeah, it's 2012. Yep. I know the stat you're talking about. Yeah.
Florida is 8-3 versus top 10 opponents at home, with those losses being against who? We lost to FSU in 2023.
Yeah.
We lost to Alabama in 2021. Who is the other one?
It's a good question. Who was the other one? I'm trying to remember.
I don't think any of the South Carolina teams. Georgia obviously doesn't come here. Tennessee hasn't beaten us in the swamp since 2003. Was it maybe one of our West opponents? No, because Bama, we played at Bama back in 2014, if I have that remembered correctly.
Yeah, we did. It might have been someone in like 2013 or 14.
It had to be like LSU, maybe like.
Yeah.
An LSU team.
I don't think they were that good in 2014, but whatever.
Well, yeah, 2012, 2013, 2012. Did we play
beat them in 20? We beat them in 2012.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, did any Miami teams because Miami wasn't a top 10 team last year? We got to figure that out. If anyone in the chat knows, this is going to be lingering on my head now for the rest of the show if we can't figure this out, because I've watched basically every game besides the first 2 years of that. And Ole Miss came to town, we won. Oh, FSU in one of those early FSU.
Oh, teams. Yeah, it would have been FSU the year they won the Natty.
Okay, yeah, so there we go. It's FSU twice and Alabama once. See, Georgia can't win in the swamp. No, but let's see. Rob S. Auburn. Nope, because we beat Auburn in 29, but we got it now. So
that's the only time we played him in that range, I think. Or in the swamp. I think that's the only time we played him in the swamp in that range.
And next year we go to Auburn, which, hey, maybe the battle of new coaches, potentially. And
I don't think they're going to fire Freeze, but we'll see.
And that kind of leads us directly into our first topic of this show. Can Billy Napier save his job? If you would have asked us this last week, we probably would have said no, because we both identified that Florida could win this Texas game. But if they do, it's probably going to be a low-scoring, sloppy game that is a defensive battle that both QBs just suck. But one thing happened that I said, at least, if it does happen, probably could be the one scenario where Billy does save his job, and it's not Dallas Wilson, although he is a big factor here. DJ Lagway looks improved. And I tell you what, DJ Lagway, you said it last night, DJ Lagway played his best game as a Gator in that Texas game. And going into the season, we were both had Florida making the playoffs. I think you got us 9-3, I think, sneaking in as well. I said too. So we both had us making the playoffs, and a lot of that was on the back of DJ Lagway being a great quarterback. And you had us losing to Texas and LSU. and then losing one more the Georgia game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, at this point, if we go and that, we just add the Miami and USF game now on, if we win out, except for the Georgia game, we go 8-4. Does that save Billy's job?
I mean, it will. They're not going to fire him if it goes 8-4. I mean, in my mind, like, to me, this season has always been playoff or bust. So I don't think 8-4 would salvage it. Yeah, Rob. I mean, I don't think 8-4 salvages anything really in my mind. But I do not think Scott Strickland would fire him if he did that. I mean, I think the problem with like the question of can you save Billy's job is obviously yesterday opened up a path, but it doesn't really change the fact that path is just really unlikely. I mean, just getting to a bowl game is still going to be a massive uphill battle, even with that win that we didn't really expect to get. I mean, probably going to be in the 7 remaining games. I think 5 of them, you're going to be a decently hefty underdog, like pretty well sub 50% chance to win.
Oh, okay. I mean, decently sub under 50%. I mean, the A&M line came out and we're 8.5 point favorites, or not favorites, underdogs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're gonna be favorites home against Mississippi State
and Kentucky,
Georgia. Yeah, we're gonna be favorites in those.
I don't think
games.
We'll be favored in any other game.
No, we won't be favored against Georgia, but that's gonna be under 10 points. I mean, depending on how these next 2 games look, I'd say about now that's probably about the same as what the A&M spread is. Maybe a little more. I mean, it's a neutral site, so that's 3-ish points you take away. So probably about 7, 8, something like that for the Georgia game, right?
Florida hasn't been a massive underdog in any of these games. Like, so
no.
Vegas likes Florida because of the talent on the roster. So it's never going to be like a 15, 20 point underdog in an SEC game like that. But I mean, I would say if Ole Miss, or if Tennessee comes to the Swamp as a 6.5 point favorite, that's pretty significant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, I do know the models really like Tennessee, and Tennessee's played some good football. Sometimes they haven't, though. So I think that defense is very suspect, especially after seeing what A&M did to Mississippi State's offense, although there's some differences there. But no, we mentioned, and it's like there's a difference between Billy being able to win these games. Like if Billy won that Texas game 13-10, it's like maybe we're talking about this, but I think it's at a much lower level. Because it's the fact that DJ Lagway went out there, threw for 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, 75% completion or something like that, a really good completion percentage for DJ Lagway. And it's if Lagway goes out there, and if he does this again against Texas A&M, I mean, maybe we have to start questioning Texas defense a bit. But I still think Texas defense is one of the better ones in the country. And I still think it's better than A&M's. So if Lagway can go out there,
maybe.
I mean, we'll discuss it. it. A&M's had some good showings as of late, but there's some asterisks I think you can put on that. But that's the same with Texas defense. They've only played 2 Power 4 opponents, and they gave up 14 to Ohio State, arguably the best team in the country. And then they gave up 29 to us, which from at this point looks like a bad showing from their defense. And I guess we could see what looks different in that A&M game. But as I was saying, if Lagway goes out there and has another 300-yard performance on the road against a top 5 opponent in Texas A&M, then I think this is a very, very, very interesting question because you're still only 3-3. But at Texas A&M, how much tougher are the rest of the games on the schedule than a game at Texas A&M?
I mean,
Georgia shows.
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah.
But I'm saying, I mean, I think they're all going to be. I mean, I think Ole Miss and Tennessee. I mean, I think you could convince me that all 3 of those teams are better than A&M. I mean, we'll see. I think A&M's been a little up and down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree there. I don't think they're the 5th best team in the country, as their AP poll ranking says. Mm-hmm. Although I do think there is some potential with that team, so we'll get into that. But again, it's really if DJ Lagway continues to play this high-level ball that he did against Texas, as the title says, can we continue the offensive improvement? If we do, then I do think there's a legitimate path for Billy to save his job. It's just consistency. And we haven't seen that at any point in the Napier tenure.
And I mean, we haven't. And it's like he needs to be like hyper consistent because even if he wins next weekend, you still then first of all, you can't have a performance where you show up and sleepwalk against Mississippi State or Kentucky. And
Absolutely.
I mean, Kentucky's pretty bad. I think they'll be fine in
Yeah.
that game. I mean, Mississippi State is not great, clearly, but I think they are a team that will beat you if you come in and don't execute. So, I mean, you got to not, you got to show up for those games, but then there's all these tough games. I mean, you don't have to win. He probably doesn't have to win all of them to save his job, but it's even if he wins 2 of them and loses the other 2, you're still looking at 7-5. Is that good enough again?
Can I point out a scenario that would be absolutely funny? So this is pretty unlikely, of course, which has us going 7-5. Florida is currently only has 1 loss in the SEC. If we win out, we'll be in the SEC championship game. It's not a guarantee, but it's gonna happen, especially with the tiebreakers.
Yeah, we just have a lot of tiebreakers.
I doubt LSU doesn't lose again in SEC play.
They almost certainly will.
Yeah, they almost certainly will. But what about this scenario? Florida loses 2 more games this year. Tennessee and FSU at the end of the year. Florida would finish 7-5, 2 losses in SEC play. I'm counting LSU and Tennessee to both lose 2 more games out, and they still beat us. LSU already beat us. Tennessee losing 2 more games, which they still play Alabama, and I think they play Oklahoma still. And I mean, tiebreaker and stuff would get figured out, but we would have wins over Georgia, A&M, and Ole Miss, and we would be 6-2 in conference play. There would probably be a lot of tiebreakers, but there's a chance a 7-5 Florida team could make the SEC championship game, and it's unlikely because I think as I said, I think the only way that happens is if the loss is to Tennessee. I mean, maybe Ole Miss is a bit overrated, and the loss could be to Ole Miss, and they lose a couple other, but I don't think Ole Miss is going to lose more games like that. I think compared to what I think Tennessee would. So what if we go 7-5 and make the SEC championship game and win it? Now that scenario is when all hell breaks loose, but I think that's a pretty funny scenario.
Probably make the playoff. I mean, it's not a guarantee you make the playoff, but
yeah,
UNLV or whatever, probably UNLV would have to go undefeated for Florida to not make the playoff because there would need to be a second ranked. Because Florida probably isn't ranked at that point, or I mean, at 8-5, it's borderline.
Now, well, if you think about it, it's going to be the playoff rankings before we lose to Tennessee. Or Tennessee, we played them. What would that be? A 7-3 Florida team with the wins over Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Miss State and Kentucky, and the Texas win. We'll see how that ends up aging, but where would we be ranked before the loss to Tennessee? And how much would a loss to Tennessee and FSU hurt us is the question.
Where would we be ranked if we were 7-3?
Yeah.
We'd probably be ranked 20.
I don't know. I mean, with all those wins, because we're talking about being ranked in the top 25 going into Georgia. We said it last night. If we were able to beat A&M and Mississippi State, I think we'd be top 15 at least.
Maybe.
It depends on how.
But then it wouldn't matter because you would drop out when you lose those 2 games. So maybe you get back in after winning the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
just a funny scenario.
It's not going to happen. I mean, the 7-5 might happen. I still think that's pretty unlikely, to be honest. So that I guess maybe that kind of answers the can Billy save his job question if 7-5 seems still a little unattainable.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it unattainable, but
it feels unattainable because you can only lose 2 more games, and there's 4 that are going to be very difficult, and 1 that's a challenge, and then 1 that's just a team that has kind of had Billy's number, even though I think they're pretty bad.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Can Billy save his job? So for you, and not asking what would happen, what do you think Scott Strickland's going to do? For you, what would Billy need to do to save his job?
He'd have to win out and make the playoff it were me making the decision. And honestly, even then, obviously I wouldn't fire if I were in Scott Strickland's position. Obviously, I wouldn't fire him after making the playoff, but I would still honestly be extremely skeptical, even if he did that, because of the fact that obviously you've got the receivers and DJ, but you're losing a ton from this team. Like, I think next year almost certainly would be a step back, at least talent on the roster wise. Because the fact of the matter is the way Billy doesn't really reload through the portal. So I don't really expect he's going to do that. It's going to be playing a lot of young guys. You're losing a lot of people on the offensive line, a lot of people on the defensive line. You know, Devin Moore, obviously maybe your best player on the entire defense right now. So
yeah, Devin. I mean, I think Miles Graham.
Yeah,
I think Devin Moore is clearly the best DB.
Yeah,
I think Miles Graham and Tyreek Sapp. I mean, we talked about it last night. Both of them and Devin Moore as well. All three of them were phenomenal. So that was really great to see. But yeah, mentioning the talent, although we've seen the schedule, like we don't know the exact how it's going to play out, but we do know the teams we're going to play. It is probably going to be. It is obviously there's a year until we start playing. It's just less than a year until we play those games, so we don't know how good those teams actually are. But you know, at this point on paper, it does seem to be an easier schedule.
Yeah, much easier than what they've had. I mean, obviously it might not be as easy as it looks, but I can pretty much definitively say it won't be as hard as this year or 2024 have been.
Rob, this was a game we dominated and only won by one score. He is a natural born loser. There are some valid criticisms to like the way he got conservative.
I mean, they had a ball, with a chance to take it to overtime. Like that is a little scary.
But I do think, I mean, last night we saw it with Miami and FSU. Miami was up 28-3 in the third quarter, and FSU brought it back within one score. Miami dominated that game. Wasn't there another game like that yesterday? That's just I'm forgetting off the top of my head. Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm not sure. What I will say though is, I mean, Arch did in the second half, like they were moving the ball more in the second half. Like, it wasn't like it was garbage time. Like they legitimately were moving the ball more on the second half, obviously until that last drive where Arch took.
But that also
two sacks you just can't take.
I'll say that they were moving the ball more, but that also resulted in them making more mistakes and us getting more interceptions.
That's true. That's true.
So they were moving it more.
I mean, it was still enough for them to score and have a chance and get back in it. So like I get where Rob's coming from. Like I still think Billy's style, like I think if Billy had really kept his foot on the gas, I mean, we punted a lot too in the second half of that game. So it's like, I think, you know, there's an argument like, do you keep your foot on the gas and like, could you have done more? Sure. But then also the one time he did put his foot on the gas, DJ gets hit, throws to probably where he shouldn't, and it gets picked off. So, you know.
And you know what sucks? Or no, sorry, that was a different play I was thinking of, but so never mind about that. But and this kind of goes. I'm trying to make my score predictions for the Texas A&M game. It's like we only scored 29 points, but it felt like when our offense was actually going out there trying to score, that the offense was kind of doing really, really well in this game. Mm-hmm. And I kind of think A&M's defense is worse than Texas's defense, and I'm like, oh, so we should score more points. But sometimes, like we should have scored nearly 40 points in this game against Texas. Like, I feel like we should have scored another touchdown or two in this game. At least a touchdown and a field goal. Like, we should have been getting near that 40. Easily should have scored over 30. I mean, we had, 29? Which, you know, if you told us in the preseason that we're going to put 29 up on Texas and beat them, we'd be very happy.
2 of which were a safety on special teams. So 27 offensive points.
Yes.
But,
yeah, that is a fair point there. 27 on offense, but we definitely should have scored 30 in this game at least. So it kind of makes it more difficult to make these predictions. Because I'm like, wait, how am I going to predict to score less on Texas A&M when I think Texas defense is better? So kind of just.
I mean, it's also on the road. Like all these games play out differently. Is Marcel Reed going to turn the ball over the way that Arch Manning did? Like maybe not. So I think there's a lot of things that you just.
He threw a bad interception last night in the second quarter against Mississippi State.
It's true.
I mean, we'll talk about that game later on, but if you're asking me, what does Billy have to do to save his job? It's a really tough question, man. Well, because here's how things would play out. 8-4 minimum, I'll say. And I know how I work. If we go 8-4 and we have 3 top 10 opponents left on our schedule, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss, and 2 other top 25 matchups with FSU and Tennessee. That's a lot of rivalry games. I mean, what's the one loss? Like, especially this week, if we go in and we march into if we go and march into College Field or College Station, Kyle Field, College Station, and get a win, I'm gonna be very excited. Then beat Mississippi State, and it's like we're going to Georgia 5-3, maybe inside the top 25. There, it's like maybe we lose that game, and then we win out, and that would entail what? 4 straight wins right there, including a top 10 win, and it wouldn't make the SEC championship game, wouldn't make the playoffs, but it'd be like, wow, they really played good football there, and it's a risky thing. Like, I also need to see what the recruiting class is looking like. I mean, how the offense is looking. Like, if they're playing consistent ball, like if we just lose a close game to Georgia, because this Georgia team still could be the best team in the country. I mean, I don't think we're necessarily thinking Oregon or Ohio State are now unbeatable after what we've seen the past week. Like, and, Georgia losing a 1-score game to Bama doesn't eliminate them from being the best team in the country. So it's like, it's tough because we could easily be in the same situation we were this year, next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would need to see how the vibes are. I'll say 8-4 is the minimum, but even then it's like, how does it look? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because like my problem is my problem is with that is what you just said, which is, I'm concerned about the fact that it doesn't seem like he can get this team to play at this level until their back is against the wall. And your back doesn't get against the wall until you basically played yourself out of winning anything, or at least winning anything with any semblance of a margin of error. So, like that's my problem is like, the fact that you lost that USF game is just very hard for me to look past because it just put you in such a hole. Like, and I can't trust you to not do that again. If he literally wins out and they get to the playoff, getting that team ready to compete in all these games against teams that are, probably, not necessarily more talented, but better than us, or should be better than us. That would say a lot about, his ability to do that consistently. But like, just, reeling off a couple wins, but still losing some of these games and going 7-5, 8-4. It's just like, if he had done that in a way where like you start 5-2 and maybe you limp a little down the stretch, lose, that maybe is different, but it's just like you start off the season so bad, you come out of the gate so bad and play yourself out of anything. Like that's just a tough thing to look past.
Yeah, I just have I wonder. So this stuff that's not public, I'll say Lagway, it's hard to put everything on one player, but if Lagway played like how he did against Texas in our first 4 games, we're minimum 3-1, maybe even 4-0. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how that Miami game would have played out. I still think Miami is a great team. I think we'd beat LSU and we should have beat USF. That's a lot. That was just a weird situation.
I mean, we should have beat USF playing the exact game we did, which was a terrible game, and we still should have won. So
yeah. So like, I don't know how that Miami game would have turned out, but like, if we're 4-1 right now, it's like we're having a whole different conversation. And what if Lagway just needed more reps? And I know we talked about him getting injured. He got injured during the game, and he was in a boot before the game I think he was in a boot for like a day or two. It was nothing serious, it seemed. But what if Lagway just, finally he's getting back up to speed and he's just going to go play out there? But then it's like, what if you have the same thing happen next offseason? I mean, it's such a hard situation to handle. And I think I know the choice Scott Strickland would make, but I don't think it should be as easy as Scott Strickland would make it. I mean, it's just so tough because we pick up. I actually did some research on this while waiting for the season in like June, probably. The last like 12 national champions before the playoffs or before the national championship game or SEC championship game, the most one had was 3 top 20 wins, I think. So we would have a better resume of wins than like any other championship team in the last decade. Now, the loss to USF would be a really bad loss, and LSU, we'll see how that plays out. But the wins this team accumulated are something that will be celebrated when they happen in the stadium. And it's something that's going to be on the minds of a lot of people and a lot of the national media, to where it's like they accomplished all these wins. Billy got this team going at this high of a level for the not even back half of the season. We're not even halfway through the season yet. Like it's just, what if Lagway is playing at that high level and you slip up once against Georgia, or once against, could be A&M even. I mean, what if we lose a close game to A&M then win out? Because that would include a win over Georgia. That would, I mean, Tennessee, FSU, Ole Miss, like those as well. But like that win over Georgia could be a difference maker in that decision.
Yeah. Again, it is like the dynamic is a little different from last year, because part of the value prop last year was being able to return all those veteran guys. And that just is not really like next year is much more of a starting from scratch, like not completely, obviously you have Lagway and hopefully the receivers and stuff, but it's a lot more restarting than this year was compared to last year's team. So there's no so I think that makes it even more difficult when you're evaluating Billy Napier's consistency, because even if he's able to be consistent for, more than a month, like he was at the end of last year, maybe you can do it for 2 months, you're still at a point where it's like, okay, but do I trust him to do that going into next season with a largely new roster? Yeah, go for it. What's up?
So we look at the defense. So we lose Caleb Banks, but I don't think we're going to have Caleb Banks the rest of the year. I mean, if we are winning a lot of games towards the ends of the year, I mean, Caleb Banks could return. But I wouldn't consider Caleb Banks a loss from this season to next year, of course, because he didn't play. So outside of Tyreek Sapp and Devin Moore, we basically return everybody else. I mean, right? Who am I missing?
Is Gums gone?
Gums might be gone, but I think
Gums is gone.
Gums, although Jada Woods looks like he can be a superstar.
Sure.
And
but
it's a loss.
Part of it is the depth that we have. I mean, because Jaden Woods is now just a guy playing a contributing role versus, just on it.
Jaden Woods is out there starting, basically. Jaden Woods started.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's expanded, but my point. Like, my point is like he would be have to be like the face of the pass rush next year versus just like one of several guys who are playing a major role.
I think another Brian Taylor having 1.5 sacks against Texas. I wonder if that's something that can continue. Mekhi Barrow looked phenomenal. Like again, I'm saying if we're winning games, I would expect that these guys are still continuing to impress. I mean,
can I also just say losing Devin Moore is a pretty big loss when he's really the only guy in the secondary right now that's not a little bit suspect.
Yeah, I mean, the safeties have played fine. Well,
yeah, I mean, I think they've gotten burned at times. I mean, they played well yesterday, but even then, there were guys getting free deep. So I mean, I'd have to go back.
I feel like a lot.
Whose
Cormani was definitely. I feel like Cormani was easily the biggest weakness on defense, and even then, he still almost made the game ceiling play. Like we end up getting the sack the next play, if I'm not mistaken. And it's very similar to how the Ole Miss game was last year, where we get the drop pick. The next play we get the pick. Well, Cormani gets the drop pick, or not even dropped. It just hits catching it and it hits the ground, kind of like what happened with Dijon last year. But then the next play we get the final play, game sealing play there. So, I think the corner losses, but I think I like Dijon Johnson. Now, how is he going to recover from his injuries? That's a very, very important question. I think if we do play the rest of the season, like how we play in this Texas game with the offense and defensive improvements, I think the defense would largely still be able to play at a pretty high level. And I mean, maybe even better. Like, you're going to lose Tyreek Sapp. Cam James has played well. I think Jaden Woods' potential, like, we're starting to see it already. I think he could be like a difference maker when he takes another step there. And I think Dijon's a really good corner. Hopefully, Cormani continues.
I think he was decent. I think he kind of has been up and down. Like, I think he's good, but I'm not sure he's a guy that, like, coming back, I'm like, we're good at corner, at least on one side because of Dijon. Like, I still have some questions, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think Cormani's development is. We haven't seen Ben Hanks, which is really we've only been playing the. I think both the Cormani and Devin Moore played every snap. I saw the PFF stats. I'm pretty sure they played every single snap. So I would like to see a bit more Ben Hanks, but although I mean, it's not unheard of for us to go and get a transfer corner.
Although I will say, like, George, like, we don't really use the transfer portal. Like, honestly, we really don't.
Cormani was a transfer.
Yeah, the preferred walk-on transfer. Yeah, I mean, like,
half of our transfers was guys who we missed out on and then ended up coming here after 1 year, or not even 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, your big transfers this year are Sturdivant and Brandon Bett, and that's really it. And Bett wasn't even like a big-time transfer addition. He was kind of just a
Bett's playing well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he was just kind of a rotational guy at Baylor. Like, he was nothing, not like a super coveted guy in the portal. Sturdivant kind of was, but also, there were some bigger names that Florida was going after that are doing some things this year that, so maybe. But point being, Florida's not super. That's part of like my logic here, because you're losing your two best offensive linemen. Florida's just not very aggressive in the portal about replacing guys. And we saw they kind of tried to do it in the secondary this year, ended up with Caraway, who, I mean, has Caraway played, like, to what extent has Caraway played, like, at all this year?
I think he's been injured the past 2 games. I'm pretty sure he's been injured.
Did he play in the first 3?
I believe he did. I think I vividly remember. I know he played a decent role in one of those early games. I can't remember which one, but I know he took some actual snaps there. So, Rob here.
Yeah.
We will use the transfer portal with Lane. Dallas Wilson was kind of was.
I don't think that technically is the transfer portal.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, but that's true. But I mean, that is also just a very different scenario. But
I mean, remember after the season, it was thought we were going to go and take 2 transfer wide receivers, because we thought Dallas Wilson was gone. Sturdivant and Dallas Wilson ended up being the 2 guys we took. So, I mean, I think it's working out really well. I think Sturdivant's a really great player. There's a do you remember the play where
making an impact? The problem is it's just like he's getting. I mean, there's just, I think, two better receivers than him on the roster now.
I think I was also gonna say there was a play. Do you remember the play where Dallas Wilson threw it to Adam Mizell in like double coverage, almost intercepted?
Yeah.
J. Michael Sturdivant working. Amir Jackson went in motion out wide, so I guess Sturdivant was in the slot technically on a slot fade where J. Michael Sturdivant just cooked the DB. But Wilson was looking Lagway was looking to the other side of the field, so he missed somewhere. Sturdivant, if it's a good throw, probably gets a touchdown there. I think Sturdivant's a really good receiver, and I think if Lagway continues to play good football like he did against Texas, then, I mean, we probably have like 4 or 5 receivers that could any given day could be the best receiver on the team. I mean, I think Dallas Wilson might have a different level to him, but there could be a day where any of the other like 4 receivers could lead us in receiving yards.
I mean, I think Dallas and Vernell are clearly the 2 best receivers on the team, though. I think, like, I don't think anyone's even close to Vernell. I mean, maybe Mizell, because we haven't really seen a lot of Mizell, but we haven't seen a lot of Mizell. We've seen a decent amount of Vernell, and he's really good. So I kind of have to say those 2 guys are on another level. But yeah, I mean, it's just like with receiving core is not, I don't think, a problem, obviously, especially now that you got those 2 guys in there, but. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what Sturdivant's role looks like the rest of the way if those 2 guys are going to be breaking out the way it looks like they're going to.
5 wide receiver sets. No, but my final, I guess I'll give my final take here on this. Can Billy save his job? I don't think we can let just a 2026 season dictate this decision either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm like confident if we go 8-4, Scott Strickland won't fire Billy. So us saying maybe you should. I mean, if we win out, then I think you have to. I mean, Billy's probably coach of the year if we find a way to win out and everything. Like, I would be pretty shocked if he's not. Like, I expect recruiting to be, pretty good. I think there'll be an uptick. I mean, if we found a way to win, what would that be? 8 straight games with 6 top 25 and 4 top 10 matchups. Like, I think recruiting would take an uptick. I think there'd be a bit more buy-in. We'd be in playing the SEC championship game. I think even if we're going 9-4 and losing the SEC title game, we're probably in the playoff. Like, I think you would have to keep Sunbelt Billy, as Jacob LaFront said.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's just, I think so. It's like, can Billy save his job? Like, yeah, sure. There's a pretty obvious path. It's not going to happen though. I mean, I really don't think it's going to happen. I think, it's just, even if you come out and win tomorrow, on Saturday, it's just like, I think I'm not even saying they're going to be inconsistent and fall apart. It's just, these are all tough games and you can play well and lose games to good teams. So like, the odds that they're going to come out and win all the games they need to win. I mean, I still think getting to 6-6, I would be like, I mean, he's still got to go, but that was a pretty nice rally to save things. Like, that's how difficult this upcoming stretch is. So, I mean, I think it's really unlikely, but there is a path there if they can really catch lightning in a bottle here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we do beat Texas A&M, I mean, can't overlook Mississippi State, but like if you beat A&M, you better beat Miss State. I'll be riding I'll be on it, especially so I can trash talk Georgia fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically I'll be all in so I can trash talk Georgia fans, and especially if we beat Georgia, I think it's going to be hard to not be in at that point. I mean, 6-3 again, the record won't look great, but we'd win those next 3, then lose to Kentucky.
Yeah,
that's how it'd go. But no, there is a path, and it's a different answer if you're depending on who you're asking. In will they? It depends on what Scott Strickland's mind is about 8-4. But I'm pretty confident that Scott Strickland would not fire Billy at 8-4.
No, that's not going to happen.
Nope. But it was a pretty exciting week, or it was a kind of interesting week of college football. I mean, it wasn't the greatest slate of games. College game day was at Vanderbilt, Alabama. I mean, I remember we initially thought going into the year, Florida, Texas was probably pretty much a lock to get college game day for this week because there wasn't much else happening. I mean, no one was predicting UCLA Penn State to even be a game that anyone was talking about. And going into the week, it wasn't. Penn State went out there, and UCLA was just offensively so dominant over them. And I mean, I'll just lead that into our week. What was that? Week 6 or weeks? Mm-hmm. Yeah, week 6. I guess that was.
Yeah, that was week 6. Yeah,
Pick'em weekend. I went 3-5 on the week. You went 5-3, and Matthew Miller also went 5-3. Iowa State versus Cincinnati. We both got that wrong. We both picked Iowa State. Vegas knew something, and should have listened to them maybe. I mean, I didn't think Iowa State was like that much better, but it's also like they win those games. I trust Matt Campbell enough to win that game, but nope. Clemson dominated UNC. It's like
that was ugly. It could have been a lot worse than the score actually was.
Yeah. How does Belichick what happens?
I don't know, man. I don't know if they're running this one back. Honestly, it's just
you can't.
Like, I mean, part of it is just Belichick, but like, does he care at all? Like, he just looks like he just has he's completely disinterested. I think he assumed this would be a 1-year thing and then he'd be back in the NFL. I don't think any franchise is touching him.
No,
I don't think that's going to happen. So, I mean, that's the problem is I don't know. Cause like he makes a lot of money. So North Carolina can't really fire him. He'd have to just like leave of his own volition. And I don't know if he has desire to do that, but I mean, this is a disaster. They might be the worst team in the Power 4.
Jeez, yeah, they might be. Oh my God. I did not see that coming. I mean,
no, I didn't think they'd be good, but I thought they'd be like 6-6. I didn't think they'd be 3-9, which it looks like is probably what they're going to be.
Virginia versus Louisville. I got right. Virginia ends up going out there and win. I'll be honest. I didn't watch a second of this game. I feel like I should have. Knowing Virginia won it in overtime. What?
Wasn't it during ours?
Oh, yeah, I think it was. And
yeah,
of course, I was at the game, so I couldn't have turned it on. Maryland versus Washington. Maryland screwed up, man. They should have won this game up 20-0, maybe 20-3 in the third or fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I know Washington scored 21 unanswered in the fourth quarter to win this game. So
yeah, that was a tough one.
I feel like I should have won that one. Miami dominated FSU for 3 quarters, and then FSU made a stampede comeback to bring in a 1-score game in the fourth, but it wasn't enough. Vanderbilt, Alabama, probably closer than the final score indicated. Vanderbilt had 2 red zone turnovers, which is really what changed the tide of this game.
Both from Pavia.
Yeah, both from Pavia. Before the season, I mentioned I don't know if Pavia is as good as people thought he was because he had some turnovers and didn't do crazy stuff, but he's starting to win me over this season. But
maybe that's practice the kneel down.
I did.
That's kind of corny. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not anti-Pavia. I like Pavia, but that was kind of corny. So I think it's kind of cool if you win, but like you're just going to be very made fun of for it if you don't.
Yeah. And all three of us picked Texas to beat Florida. Boy, were we wrong. Florida went out there and dominated from start to finish, basically. Or for the first 3 quarters, and then Billy Napier sat on the lead.
Yeah.
That's how that game really went.
Ended up letting them get to like midfield because of a personal foul on a drive to potentially send it to overtime.
And then Cameron Caldwell threw a better pass than Arch Manning did for most of the game.
Yeah, for real. No, that was a dime. That was a great play. I mean, it wasn't like a super difficult throw, but still to step up in that situation, that was a great play.
But we're heading on to week 7 now, and we got some interesting games to pick here. There's not really any superstar games. There's one top 10 matchup, but clear talent disadvantage on one team in that. But we got some interesting games here to pick. And the first one we'll do Friday night in Denton, Texas, North Texas, 1.5 point favorite, an over-under of 67.5 points. Predicting a shootout here. 24 USF travels to North Texas. Winner of this game is going to be right there with Memphis and maybe UNLV. We'll see when they play, how the Mountain West schedule goes for them, to being the favorite of the G5 teams to make the college football playoff here. And if USF wins this game, they still have to play Memphis in the regular season. But outside of that, they got UTSA, who's a good school. They have Frank Harris,
they just
running back.
Lost a bad game though. They lost someone that they shouldn't have. I'm almost positive.
I mean, they're 2-3. I know they lost. Oh yeah, they lost 27-21 to Temple.
Yeah, that's right. They lost to Temple.
They barely beat Colorado State as well.
Yeah, they lost to Temple. Yeah, and Colorado State's bad. Yeah, they lost. They have a couple not great. I don't think they're that good. I don't think they're very good this year.
No, they have a running back though who has 666 yards on the season, so nearly as many passing yards as Owen McCown.
Wow,
Who has 990.
That's tough.
So, maybe a great running game like that can get going for any given day. But it's a respectable program. Jeff Traylor, a coach that almost got the A&M job, so
might be in the mix for the Arkansas job this time around.
Maybe
his name's come up a lot, just in a hypothetical, because he was there. He was their associate head coach before he took the UTSA.
But if North Texas beats USF, they only have, again, UTSA. They don't play Memphis in the regular season. They have a good chance to go undefeated throughout the year. Who's their head coach? He's been there for a while.
Eric Morris. No, he's only in like year 3. Year 3.
Only in year 3? Okay. I feel like I've talked about him before or something like that. But this offense, high-flying offense, put up 33 is the least amount of points they put up this season. Put up over 50 twice, put up 45 against Army once. It's a high-flying offense that lead them to a college football playoff berth this year. Okay, no, speaking of Western Michigan. But USF, North Texas, who do you got?
Yeah, so I'm not going to pretend I've watched a ton of North Texas this year, but I mean, I know that their offenses have been really good the whole time under Eric Morris. The defenses have been abysmal. It seems like they actually have a pretty good defense this year, so that makes them an interesting team. I just think USF way more talented. I mean, just far and away way more talented. What Byron Brown allows you to do. I mean, in the ground game, you see they had like 400 yards rushing as a team against Charlotte on Friday night.
I did not.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of that was Byron Brown. And obviously Charlotte's a much worse American team than North Texas.
Some are saying they might be the worst team in the FBS.
They might be. So like, I'm not saying that means they're going to do that to North Texas, but like, I just think South Florida can I think South Florida is going to be capable of bullying physically pretty much every team on their schedule. We'll see about Memphis, but potentially even Memphis.
Potentially Memphis.
So I'm
say that again.
South Florida. I'm saying I think South Florida has the ability to pretty much physically bully practically at pretty much everyone on their schedule except Memphis, but maybe even including Memphis.
I think that's a very fair take, but I like the North Texas mean green. I like that. I mean, they're a 1.5 point favorite, but it wouldn't be an upset, but an upset in the AP poll. I think the offense come up there high flying. You don't walk into Denton, Texas and beat North Texas, unless you're maybe one of the other teams from the previous years. They've lost 7 games the past 2 seasons. But yeah, I think North Texas is going to get the win here and put themselves on the radar a bit here and get our weekend of college football really kicked off there with a great game. Moving on to Saturday, though, noon slate, pretty good slate. Start off here, number 1 Ohio State at 17 Illinois. Illinois struggled against a pretty bad team, didn't they?
Purdue.
43-27 against Purdue.
I think Purdue maybe isn't quite as bad as we thought, though.
Maybe.
Like, they've given USC and Notre Dame, like, fights. They weren't really super competitive, but they didn't get, like, embarrassed, nor did they get embarrassed on Saturday. Yeah, I think they're bad, but I don't think they're, like, I think they're significantly better than, like, Northwestern and, like, what we assumed UCLA was until Saturday. Now I don't know. But I think probably better than Wisconsin too.
Oh, Wisconsin's just.
I mean, they honestly didn't. It wasn't as bad yesterday as I thought it might have been against Michigan. They were not competitive in that game. They lost 24-10. They were not very competitive in that game, but I thought it could have been uglier than that.
Well, I mean, that maybe changes things a little bit, but I'm still going Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it. I'm lower on Illinois than you were, and I mean,
I'm not high on Illinois at all anymore. I'm all the way. Yeah. I sold my Illinois stock. I'm out.
Yeah, this is pretty much the death of their college football playoff hopes. It's not the death, but
it's in Champaign. So
it is in Champaign.
Maybe, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
Yeah. And now maybe the game that's kind of flying under the radar the most, because I honestly didn't know this game was being played. It's a top 15 matchup. Alabama at Missouri.
Yeah, good game.
Now, Alabama's gotten back-to-back really good wins. They got the big win at Georgia. Yeah, at Georgia. Then they come back home and beat Vanderbilt. Are they in for a sleeper game? I mean, I don't know how things are being said in their locker room, but I feel like no one's talked about Missouri versus Alabama, and Missouri's undefeated. Bro Prabula and Ahmad Hardy have been one of the better 1-2 punches in the run game. Alabama, outside of that Georgia game, has really struggled on the road. I mean, we saw them lose to FSU this year and Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt last year. Is this kind of a sneaky upset that not many people are even thinking about right now?
Yeah, I think it definitely could be. I mean, I'm like trying to make my pick for this game. Like, I really don't feel good about this one at all because like on the road, yeah, I mean, this feels like a really potential struggle spot for Kalen DeBoer, especially because, you know, looking back to that Georgia game, Chauncey Bowens kind of gashed them on the ground, and Ahmad Hardy's a really good running back for Missouri.
He is.
And Bo Prabula is a good running quarterback as well. So I think Bama's vulnerable. I mean, I do think Bama's pretty good. I think Ty Simpson is real. I think Ty Simpson is really good. I think they're probably better on defense than we thought after the way they played in week 1. I don't know if they're great on defense, but I think, you know, they pretty much held at least Gunnar Stockton in check. Like I said, they weren't great against the run in that game, but they didn't give up a ton to Georgia through the air. I think Bama's the better team, and like I think they'll win this game. But man, I hate picking it because I don't feel good about this spot for DeBoer in Alabama at all.
Yeah, I don't want to pick Missouri to win, but the spot just feels it feels too much like I've been doing this all season, and these are the picks that have gotten me down by 9 games at this point.
Well, now you gotta hedge against me. You gotta go against me, fade me. I guess is what I'm looking for.
I gotta double down, huh?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not doing it. Give me Alabama.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I can totally see it happening. I just can't bring myself to pick it.
No, because I didn't pick it, it's gonna happen. Yeah. So you're welcome to you Missouri fans out there.
The fact that Bama won this game on Saturday, and like, I mean, yeah, it was like close-ish, but they mostly took care of business. That gave me a lot more confidence in them because I mean, that was just like such an obvious lay an egg spot. I mean, not like really a letdown spot because they weren't looking past it, but just like Vandy's going to be extremely fired up going into that game.
Yeah, but hey, maybe they're looking too much into that Vandy game. So now
they got the Vandy monkey off their back, and now they're coasting. They're going to take it easy.
Yeah. All right, next game, another interesting game here. Pitt just came off a blowout win over Boston College, 48-7. They started a new QB. They benched Eli Holstein for, what is this, Mason Heinzel?
Something like, I honestly couldn't tell you his name off the top of my head. I didn't watch this game.
True freshman.
Boston College sucks. I mean, Boston College is awful.
Boston College has a 1 win. Who was it over? Fordham. Okay. Oh yeah, they lost.
They lost to
2
Cal
points
at
to
home,
Michigan
I
State.
believe, last week.
Yep. Yeah, they blew that game to Cal. They lost at Stanford. Yeah, maybe Boston College.
Man, I
just
forgot
that
they
bad.
lost to Stanford too. Gross.
So maybe we're reading a bit too much into this, but this FSU defense has not looked good the past 2 weeks of football. Maybe that Bama game was just a one-time thing, especially if Ty Simpson really starting to get into the action there. But this is an interesting game because if FSU loses here, this could be them imploding, like they did last year after losing to Georgia Tech. Now I think they're better. I think Thomas Castellanos gonna have better leadership, and they probably have a higher floor. But do they have a high enough floor to where they're not going to lose to Pitt? I don't think so. I think it's possible they lose this game, but it is at FSU. FSU needs the win. They're 9.5-point favorites. I'm going to take FSU, but kind of like the last game, I could see Pitt kind of sneaking up on FSU, and this could be the start of a major downfall for FSU as they're 3-2. Oh, I mean, okay, they got Pitt, but then they go Stanford, so that should be a free win for them. But I mean, they have like a FSU schedule does ease up a bit here because after this Pitt game at Stanford, win. Wake Forest maybe isn't that bad as we thought going into the year. They played some better football than I expected.
Depends on the week for them. They've had some bad results, but they've also looked good at times. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean they beat VT after BT beat NC State.
Should have beaten Georgia Tech. They choked. They choked hard against.
Yeah, 1 point loss in OT. Lost a close game to NC State. Honestly, the results 10-9 to Kennesaw.
Yeah. Also, NC State's pretty bad.
1 point game to Kennesaw State. I mean, it's tough, but like, I mean, and then for FSU, sorry, we're kind of getting tracked here, but they play at Clemson, which again, Clemson's talent is something you can never overlook. But I mean, maybe this is a game Clemson just wakes up for because you kind of want to own FSU if you're Clemson there. But then VT at NC State, and then I mean, we'll see. I don't see this FSU team really falling apart like I may have just inferred to, but if they lose to Pitt, then maybe anything's possible. So I'm picking FSU to win.
I just don't think Pitt's that good, or at least I'm not convinced of it yet. I mean, I will say in the little bit I've seen of them the last couple weeks, it seems like their defense forces some turnovers, which is intriguing because Castellanos has been a little turnover happy the last couple weeks. True. I don't think FSU is great by any means. I think they're probably, an 8-ish win team, maybe 9-win team just because of the schedule. But I think they're still decent. Like, I think if you can take away Castellanos beating you the way he wants to, I think you can put them in pretty tough situations because I'm not sure they can run the ball super well outside of him. I don't think their passing game is anything too spectacular. So I think you can get them in tough spots. I just think he's going to be able to do that, like do what he wants to do against Pitt. I don't think they're really going to be able to stop that. I think they probably win this game like fairly easily, if I'm being honest.
Interesting. Fairly easy. I don't know. I'm going to say FSU kind of wins a closer game, but that's fair. But we both got FSU here. It would be so funny to see FSU lose, though.
Yeah, would be great.
Especially because that's a 4-hour game, so that's always nice.
There we go.
Next game we're going to predict here. We'll save that game. 6 Oklahoma now. Wow, feels weird seeing Oklahoma at 6 now. At unranked Texas. I mean, who would have thought Texas would be unranked? I'm pretty sure I saw during the offseason, Josh Pate, he was doing like one of his mail-in ballot question shows, and one of the hot take show, and Oklahoma, or someone said Texas is 3-2 heading into the Oklahoma game. And I was like, that's just not going to happen. I mean, I thought they were going to be Ohio State pretty, like, not easily, but I thought they would be able to control that game. And then I had them beating us as well. I mean, I had Texas winning my natty, but it happened here. And if John Mateer was playing, I think I'm picking Oklahoma, no questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
But Michael Hawkins is playing, and I still don't think Michael Hawkins is that good of a quarterback. I think this is going to be a defensive battle. I still really like Texas defense. I'm going to take Texas here to... Okay, Vegas. Texas is a 2.5-point favorite still. I don't like that. I mean, I guess Michael Hawkins playing. So I'm going to pick Texas, but this is a really interesting game compared to what we probably viewed it as during the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure Michael Hawkins is like horrible in the sense that he's going to like have a meltdown here, but I just think that it's just I was already my concern about Oklahoma was I didn't know, at least offensively, that they had anything outside of John Mateer because he kind of had to create it all himself. Even their run game outside of Mateer has not been great.
No.
So like I think Texas still has a lot of problems. I think they have more problems after yesterday than I even thought they did. Obviously, the offense has problems, and I think the defense has way more problems than I expected. I know you're still pretty high on them. I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm suspect because their defensive line got just beat. I mean, just straight up beat by an offensive line that frankly hasn't been doing that to teams to this point in the year. Hasn't been awful, but it hasn't been like
OU's O-line is considerably pretty bad.
I mean, I get, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I still think if Texas was up front what I thought they were, that wouldn't have happened yesterday, even if Florida's offensive line played the game of its life. So I'm just saying, I don't think they're as good up front as I thought they were. I mean, but I just can't see Oklahoma being able to score much in this game. And I think Texas, at least, because there were big plays there. I think there will probably be big plays there, even though I think Oklahoma's defense is good. I think they can probably. I still think Sark is a really good offensive mind. I don't really think yesterday reflects a ton on him as a play caller.
Hey, 3rd and 10 QB scramble call.
Yeah.
QB draw.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, Arch running was like the best thing they did on offense for that was like the one thing that was kind of working. The design runs, not like him trying to scramble in the pocket because he didn't really have any pocket presence at all yesterday. Yeah, I lean toward Texas, even though I think both teams are going to struggle to score here. I know you want to gain an edge somewhere, but I can't bring myself to pick Oklahoma without John Mateer. I might have still picked Texas even with John Mateer. I mean, I probably wouldn't have, but I would have given it more thought than maybe like you would think, like just cursory glance.
All right, that's pretty interesting there. Next game we're gonna pick South Carolina at 11. LSU night game in Death Valley. South Carolina revenge spot. Again, they should have won last year.
I mean, they got stolen from them. Like it got stolen from them. Yeah,
like it's straight up. Teams blame the refs. I mean, we've mentioned the refs in games, but like South Carolina straight up got rocked by the refs in that game. But South Carolina hasn't been as good as people expected them to be. They still were able to control a pretty bad Kentucky team and 9-point loss to Missouri. Hey, maybe Missouri beats Alabama and that doesn't look as bad. Sellers didn't play against Vandy or played only like the first quarter or so against Vandy, so I don't really take too much away from the full result of that game. I've been anti-LSU. I can't see them jumping to the top 10 because they beat South Carolina.
So you got South Carolina?
I'm going to take South Carolina to pull the upset.
Okay. I'm curious, what does that look like in your mind? Like, what is South Carolina?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
LSU is a 9.5-point favorite. That is absolutely crazy.
But it's a night game in Death Valley, and that's probably alone worth 3 points. But I think, what is the path? Like, what is the path to victory look like for South Carolina? Because I struggle to see it because I don't think South Carolina's defense is very good.
I don't think Ole Miss's defense is very good either, and they shut down LSU.
Yeah, game they won by 5.
They won by 5. They scored 19 points, and that was also some.
I think LSU handled Ole Miss's defense. Like I think Ole Miss's LSU's defense, I think played well enough to win that game against Ole Miss.
Yeah, the defense. Like ours has played against Miami and LSU. Yeah. Ours has played, but I don't think LSU's offense has any upside to it. I don't see the run game. It's not like with Florida where we saw these like same players basically play good football on offense. It's not like that with LSU. The run game was non-existent last year as well. I thought Nuss was pretty overhyped for like a pretty good big stat merchant, and I don't see the offensive upside there. I still like Dylan Stewart. I still like South Carolina's D-line. I still think it's a pretty talented group there, and they have some individual players in the linebacker and DB unit there that I think are going to be good enough to not let LSU's offense do anything. It's not like LSU's offense did anything well against non-FCS competition. I mean, the FIU game, they scored 23. The way I see this game going, I don't see it being a high-scoring game. I just think Lenora Sellers is going to do enough. They had a bye week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did.
So, yeah, LSU did as well, but I think Lenora Sellers being healthy is more important. I think the LSU Nussmeier being injured, I don't think that's really what's happening here. But I think maybe he is hurt a bit, which I think that's confirmed he's a bit hurt, but like I've been low on Nuss, so I don't need to get further in detail about that. But I think Sellers is going to make enough plays. And I think LSU's aggressive style is going to allow Lenora Sellers to hit those big time plays. And it's going to be enough for South Carolina to win something like 17-14.
Okay. I mean, I just don't like South Carolina very much in general. I don't think they're that good. And
I think it's a biased pick right there by you.
I mean, yeah, it's not personal. I just don't think they're very good.
I'm kidding.
But I also just, it's hard for me to pick against LSU night games in Death Valley. I mean, they're very good in those games. And it's just South Carolina is not a good enough team for me to pick them to do that. Especially because I still think LSU's defense is really, really good. And I think there's a decent chance that it's going to be kind of a rough night for Lenora Sellers. Although it'll be interesting because he didn't play most of that game last year. He got hurt pretty early, and it was Robbie Ashford for a lot of it.
That is true. So,
but totally different LSU defense that was pretty bad last year. So I don't know how much.
Yeah, I think LSU's aggressiveness though with Lenora Sellers is going to come back to bite him out. It's going to back to bite him a couple plays, I think, and those are going to be enough. I just don't think LSU's offense is going to do it. It's just not good.
I still think they're going to have. I still think it's probably not as bad as it's looked.
I think it is.
Playing at home. I don't know. We'll see. I think they kind of get back on track here a little bit.
Maybe. Second to last game we'll pick here, or not including the Florida game. 21. Why they're ranked 21, I don't know. Arizona State at Utah. Utah's a 4.5-point favorite. I'm gonna have you pick this game first. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Arizona State's that great. I think they're kind of mediocre. They've survived a couple really close calls to start Big 12 play. I don't know if Utah is great either, but I'm not going to write them off because the way they lost to Texas Tech. Because I think Texas Tech might be going 12-0. I mean, I'm not sure anyone's going to beat them. They might just be far and away the best team in the Big 12. I don't think Utah is quite as good defensively up front as they've been in past years, but I think they're still solid in that regard. I think Dampier is interesting. I think he's kind of had his ups and downs, but I think he can make some plays. I just think they're more well-rounded than Arizona State right now, so I will take Utah. That game's at Utah or in Tempe?
Yes, it's at Rice Eccles.
Yeah, I'll take them at home. That's a tough place to play. I'll take them at home.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty easy. I'm taking Utah here. I don't think this Arizona State team is that good. TCU shouldn't have lost that game. They really choked that game away. I mean, Arizona State's a good, solid second-tier Big 12 team. I mean, really, Texas Tech is in a tier 1 of its own, then maybe Utah in tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, that might still be the Big 12 championship. We might just get a rematch of that game.
I'm still kind of there. I mean, night game at Rice Eccles. I'm going to take Utah here. I still like Devin Dampier. I think Texas Tech is just that much better than the rest of the conference, where even the second-best team gets kind of bullied. I mean, it was a close game until Texas Tech got a couple late scores in the fourth quarter. So, I'm going to take Utah there to win that one. All right, last game we'll predict here before we get to our game later on in the show. Number 7 Indiana at number 3 Oregon. After Oregon beat Penn State, I know you're saying Oregon might be the best team in the country. I'm saying they are. I think they are. But then Penn State goes and loses to UCLA. Is Penn State just not that good? Was it a one-off fluke, or is it just that's who Penn State is? And maybe Oregon should have won that game by more. 7.5-point favorite. Honestly, thought that might be a little bit larger of a spread, considering the talent level for Indiana compared to Oregon. But I think we're both going to still end up taking Oregon here. But it could be interesting to watch here, and maybe Oregon just isn't as good as I think. Although it's weird because I kind of bought in after I was kind of sold out on Oregon before the season. So
yeah, me too. I was not really super high on them either.
No.
Especially when Evan Stewart got hurt. I don't like this at all.
I have my Oregon friend, and he's just man, I really wish Dallas Wilson was playing for Oregon. I mean,
Decorin Moore has been pretty good, but
yeah, he's really good. Malik Benson's been surprisingly good for Oregon as well. Like, and the tight ends, what's his name? Kenyon Sadiq.
That sounds right. That sounds right. Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah, so Oregon's not really missing too much from the talent, although a receiver like Dallas Wilson never hurts, and it probably would elevate the receiver core another level. But it's like, is Penn State just not that good? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're not as bad as what Saturday looked like, but I also don't. I mean, I think they legitimately might not be a very good team. Like, they might be a team that loses 2-3 more games. Maybe not 3, but like maybe 2 more games. So, I mean, it does make me question, because I mean, I think you and I are on the same page that Oregon's probably, as things currently stand, national title favorite. I mean, I think just from what we've seen, kind of have to say that.
I mean, Ohio State, I think you can say as well.
You could. I mean, I just think Oregon has looked better than Ohio State, especially because the one real data point we have for Ohio State is a Texas team that now I'm like, ooh, like that was even closer than it should have been. I mean, it was week 1. I mean, I don't think Washington's particularly good. I mean, they should have lost to Maryland yesterday.
Yeah.
And they just didn't really have. I mean, they played pretty well on defense in that game, but like I just don't think Washington's very good. So, I mean, we'll see. I think Oregon's been more impressive.
Fair.
But I mean, but maybe they're not. I mean, maybe Penn State just isn't that impressive of a win, but it was on the road. I think you mentioned it. The talent is just, the gap here is so big. Indiana has not really fared well in the 2 instances we've seen them play in these kind of games. And even an Iowa level defense was able to give Fernando Mendoza like at least some problems. He was still pretty good in that game, but like, it wasn't the just, prolific performance we had seen in pretty much every game to that point. So I think Oregon will be fine here. This is in Eugene, right? Correct?
Yes, it is in Eugene.
Yeah, I think that would be that is like you have to put Sig pretty high up there on the list if he pulls that one off. The list which we may or may not still need.
Yeah, maybe. As we mentioned earlier this show, can Billy save his job? No, yeah, we're both going to Oregon here. And I think it's going to be a fun week of football to watch. Like, not really any elite level games. No Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, or Penn State, Oregon's, or anything like that. But
we're going to learn a lot. A lot of games that will tell us a lot about a lot of these teams.
And obviously, we'll get our Florida, Texas A&M predictions down later in the show. But for that, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back after this message.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
Welcome back to Florida Gators Live. And now, earlier in the show, we talked about, can Billy save his job? And that's talking about maybe some more, I wouldn't say not possible, but more unrealistic options to what can happen. But what do we think the rest of the season is going to look like? What's the outlook for this Florida team for the rest of the year? I mean, there are people talking about 1-11 for Florida after that after the USF and LSU and Miami game, but obviously we're now 2-10. But what is the record now going to be? Is it 2-10? Is it, or not 2-10 or 9-3? maybe somewhere in the middle at 6-6.
I'm probably willing to bet somewhere in the middle between 2-10 and 9-3. I feel like that's safe money.
Safe money. Oh yeah, maybe. Hey, maybe your result gets flipped and we go 10-2.
Yeah, there you go.
LSU was cheating on defense somehow.
The SEC goes back and retroactively gives us a win.
Hey, that's gonna save Billy Napier's job, buddy.
That would be the perfect Billy. Like having LSU have to like vacate that win would be the most hilarious way for Billy's job to get saved.
Hey, if it makes the playoffs, it makes the playoffs. I'm down to do whatever it takes. No, but we still have a pretty daunting schedule ahead of us. I mean, we've played 3. I mean, Texas isn't even the top and ranked anymore, but they were in the top 10 when we played them. And Miami's in the top 5, top 3. LSU's ranked 11 currently. We've played a daunting schedule to this point, but it gets even tougher. We go on the road to Texas A&M now, debatably the toughest game of the season to this point.
Maybe the toughest game. It might prove to be the toughest game, all things considered, of the entire year.
It might be. And then Mississippi State, which before the season was kind of just that's a win. Like, especially the fact that's homecoming. Plus, we're going to be wearing our retro uniforms for that game. Like, it's a game that in between a tough schedule should be a rest. But now, I mean, they got blown out by A&M. And I'll talk a bit more about that game later on in the show. So maybe not that good, but they still play Texas A&M close. They have the win over a ranked Arizona State team. So it's not a give me anymore. And then you go play Georgia. We haven't won that game since 2020. So that's every year. That's the game on the schedule. If you can win that game, that you're probably going to be a good team. But it's a game that's really going to get the fan base behind you because Georgia's just been the Bama now. I mean, they're not Bama, but like they won back-to-back natties. They've been in the top 10 of every single top 10 team every single year now since 2017.
Since Kirby's first year, I think.
No, they went 6-6 in Kirby's first year.
Yeah, I'm saying since okay. Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying not including 2017. Yeah, because they went to the championship game in 2017.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's a daunting thing to beat Georgia and arguably our biggest rival, and then you get I consider Kentucky still a bit of a bye game. Like that's your rest game now, and they're not the worst thing in the world, but I don't think they're that good. No, we should win that game.
I don't either, but Billy has struggled in that game.
Hey, 28-point win last year.
That's true.
But then you get a daunting 3-game end of season schedule. Maybe not the toughest teams, but when you look at the rivalries involved, the redemption involved, you go to Ole Miss, currently a top 5 team in the country. We'll see what they look like when we play them, but Lane Kiffin may be with the playoffs on the line again in this game for Ole Miss. Going to Vaught Hemingway, looking for revenge on how we eliminated them from the playoffs last year. That's a big game. That's going to be a big game for them, whether we're good or bad. And then you end the season off with 2 home games against some big time, maybe 2 of your top 4 biggest rivals, maybe top 3, depending on who you ask, in FSU and Tennessee. And it's like, hey, Tennessee hasn't won the Swamp since 2003. You can't lose to them now. And then FSU, they're currently still ranked in the top 25. We'll see if they are when we play them later on down the road. So it's like they're better than last year. That's really
they are. I'm probably willing to bet they aren't ranked by the time we get to that game.
That's a fair point.
I mean, it's not impossible because if they're like have 3 losses, then maybe, but they probably will have. I'd say they probably have 4. I'd say they're probably like 7-4 coming into that game. Would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on that Clemson and how the game this weekend against we talked Pitt, and maybe that Clemson game look. Not saying they have to win both of those, but like I think that'll be a telling sign for what this FSU team really is this year.
Yeah, for sure.
But so Tyler, give me just quickly, we'll break it down a bit more. Give me your record prediction now for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think where I'm at right now is I probably say I think you beat Kentucky. I think even on the road, you're going to beat Kentucky. Like I said, Billy has struggled in that game, but they can't really do anything at all offensively. This Kentucky offense is really bad. So I think Florida will be mostly fine. And I'll give them Mississippi State, even though I think Mississippi State's a good team. that could present some challenges. I think offensively they can do some good things. But, Billy's been pretty good in the Swamp for the most part. I don't really think they're going to lose that game now. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, say they win that game. And then I'm probably at one other game. Like, I think they probably will manage to steal one of Georgia, A&M, Ole Miss, Tennessee, FSU, maybe two. I'd say I'm looking at. I feel like the realistic ceiling is 6-6. Snap prediction, I'll say 5-7.
6-6, 5-7. Yeah, I'll say we beat Mississippi State. Yeah, Mississippi State and Kentucky. I'll give it to us, and then I'm gonna say we do beat Tennessee in the Swamp. I do think that Tennessee defense might have some serious issues there, but so 6-6. I'll say 6-6. Or wait, no, that's 5-7 right there. Maybe we beat FSU in the Swamp as well. Maybe that's like a interim coach type of deal that gives you some momentum to end the year. So I'll say we make a bowl game and go 6-6, ending the year off with 2 big rivalry wins. But
yeah, so we both see a pretty similar outlook here.
So let's kind of break this down a bit more. Let's kind of go game by game here. We're going to talk about Texas A&M later on in this show, so we'll kind of skip it by. It's a game we could win. I wouldn't be surprised if we won it at this point. I'm not picking us to win it as of now. We'll make our predictions later, but it's not a game that if we won it, I wouldn't be like, no way we won that. Like, I mean, obviously, if we go down like 20 points and make a comeback win, be maybe more like in the moment, no way we won that. But looking at the game, it's 8.5 point spread. It's not like someone that's going to be crazy, never before seen type of thing. So it's a possible win. And then we look at the Mississippi State game. About what percentage would you say we win that game? What would you put the percents at right now?
70, 65, 70, 65, 70 probably.
Yeah, I'd probably agree there. I think Mississippi State gave a really valiant effort against Tennessee, but I think Mississippi State's trenches are still pretty dang bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, Florida's still just a way more talented team than they are.
That too. But as I was saying, like, I think their trenches are pretty bad, and the talent that we have on our roster, like, it's still better. Like, this team is never, at this point, I think it's fair to say this team's never gonna buy out on Billy. Like, they're still gonna be playing for Billy, and with the talent we have, I don't see them just giving up in this game. And we could still lose this game if they don't buy out, but I would say that this is a pretty likely win. Like you said, 65, 70%. Like, I'd probably agree with you on that. And then the Georgia game. This is an interesting one. Am I crazy for kind of thinking the A&M game's tougher than Georgia as of now?
I think matchup-wise it might be. But I do think Kirby just in general has been really good against the Gators. Like, I think Georgia, I think winning Georgia would surprise me more, even though I think A&M is the tougher game, or is potentially the tougher game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, tougher game. Yeah. So, I mean, I just said I wouldn't be shocked if we went on and beat A&M. So I guess I think it'd be a bit unfair to say the same, or not to say the same thing for Georgia. But Kirby is going to come out here and, last year, Florida had some fire. And we caught him. I mean, maybe we caught Kirby off guard. Maybe he was prepared, but Florida was just playing at a high level right then. But I doubt Kirby doesn't come into this game with a fire under him trying to win it. So it's like, I'm not going to be shocked if we win it. But again, that's probably in the opposite sense. What percentage would you give this to win this game?
25-30.
So like the opposite of the Mississippi State.
Yeah,
pretty opposite.
A little. I like Mississippi State's odds against us better than I like our odds against Georgia by like a slight margin.
What if we beat A&M and Mississippi State? What would you then put those odds at?
45.
Wow.
So I mean, maybe like 35-40, but yeah, probably more like 35-40. I mean, there's something I'm thinking about it. Like, we would still be 4-3 going into that game, we'd be 4-3 going into that game. So
hey, records can be. Hey, we were 4-3 going into the Georgia game last year, and it took a third-string QB for them to be able to beat us. So,
yeah, I don't know if Gunnar Stockton's going to give us kind of a meltdown the way that Beck did, but we'll see.
Hey, I mean, Beck gave us 3 interceptions. I mean, we made some good plays, obviously, so it's not like he gave
Yeah.
it to us, but
You know what I
he
mean, though.
also
But
led those touchdown drives. He also led some pretty good touchdown drives, so
yeah,
he almost lost in the game, but he also kind of won it to him in a sense.
yeah. I
And
mean,
then the
no, for sure.
Kentucky game, what would you put the Kentucky game as of now?
80,
What if Billy's fired?
85, maybe. Like,
wait. Oh, okay. That's interesting. What the
well,
teams
because
like kind of
if
gave
Billy's
gave up.
fired, we're bad. But then the odds go up because I think if Billy's fired, like I mean, I genuinely still think Russ Callaway calling plays, you would see a better offense. I still believe nothing I saw
But what if the
yesterday.
players buy out? Like, what if the players are just give up? You lose
I
locker
mean,
room.
maybe. I mean, okay. I mean, if that happens, then it's 50% because it doesn't matter how
50-50?
bad the team. It doesn't matter how bad the team you're playing is if you don't care.
Yeah, it sucks Clemson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'd probably be in the same range as you. What if we win out to that Kentucky game? Then what'd you put the odds at?
90. I mean,
90.
it's still an SEC game. I'm not going to put any. I mean, yeah. I mean, it probably 85. Honestly,
100%.
85 is probably the ceiling, like the ceiling I can say for like any SEC game. If I'm being honest, like I don't think I could read. Like,
What about pre Clark Lee Vandy and like that outside that 1 year for
yeah,
Derek
I mean,
Mason?
maybe that's like maybe the one example, but I just think like generally speaking, that's hard to justify doing.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. But then we go to the road at Ole Miss. This kind of speaks to how good you think Ole Miss is. What do you think about that Florida Ole Miss game?
I mean, if I'm giving it a percentile, I'd probably give it about what I'm giving Georgia right now, like 25-30. I think being on the road swings that. I mean, it wouldn't be that bad if it was in Gainesville, but I think that is a matchup I really don't like because while I don't think Ole Miss's defense is great, I do think that they would put up points on Florida. I think they can run on. I think they could run on Florida. I think they would hit some big plays on Florida. I'm not sure I like DJ. I mean, I think like we really do like we can't emphasize that Billy has not won a road game like that at all. Like he hasn't even won a game that on the road that comes close to that.
We'll be having a different discussion though next week. That's
sure. I mean, if he wins out, I mean, yeah, obviously all these percentages are going to go up if we're undefeated. If we're won 5 in a row going into
well, no. I'm saying, I mean, we beat A&M. That would be a big time road win. That he
yeah. I mean, that would be the biggest road.
Although he has won at A&M before, so maybe that negates it.
When they were terrible, didn't they have like 15 guys out in that game?
Oh yeah, they had the flu.
Yeah,
I don't think it was COVID.
No, yeah, this was 2022. So this was post-COVID, or COVID wasn't really a thing.
I mean, were
guys like missing games for COVID in 2022? I don't think that was really still happening.
No. But what's funny, I also had the flu that week.
Oh, that sucks.
I still went to the game though. I mean, that's my birthday game.
Nice.
I was mostly recovered by that point, so it's okay.
There you go.
But no. Yeah, Ole Miss. I mean, what about the mental factor? What if there's like a mental block on Lane Kiffin beating Florida? What if these are nervousness he gets because that's the job he wants? Like,
I think it's just going to be countered by the fact that he's a 10 times better coach than Billy Napier is.
Like, what if Billy's fired?
Coach. I mean,
hey, Billy kind of already owns Lane.
I guess Billy technically owns Lane. He owns Lane and Sark now.
Well, he's 1-1 against Sark.
Yeah, but I mean, last year, it's like literally we're missing like 15 starters last year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, no excuses. You just made the excuse for A&M.
It's true.
As you made it for us, so you can't use the same excuse twice.
It's true.
Then after that, interesting game in November. Home against Tennessee. Tennessee hasn't won in the Swamp. Speaking of the mental blockade, can Tennessee win the Swamp? I mean, sure they can, but what do you think? Like, how do you think that looks?
I mean, obviously there is that like mental thing on Florida's side. I tend to not put a ton into that because like we saw the Kentucky streak end and then Kentucky had no qualms beating Florida several times after it finally ended. So, I mean, I think Tennessee is a better team than Florida is. I'd probably give the chances at like 40%. that Florida can win that game because it's at home. But I think there are some matchup things that I don't particularly like. I mean, I think, I think this is the best offense Tennessee's had since 22 when, Hendon Hooker kind of went crazy in that game, if I remember correctly. So I think, I don't love that matchup, but I mean, it is at home. I would probably say it is the most winnable of all the tough games left on the schedule, just because it's the only one that's at home, unless you count FSU as a tough game. I would class FSU a lot closer to Mississippi State than I would at any other game on the schedule.
What percentage would you put? You said like 40?
For 35, Tennessee, yeah, I'd say like 40.
40, okay. Yeah, I mean, they haven't came in here and won since 03, right?
Yeah.
That's the number.
03.
03. So, it's something that's tough to see, but yeah, I mean, this is the best offense, maybe the worst defense, though, they've had since 22 at least. So,
we'll see. I'm curious how they do against like Bama too, because I think Bama's pretty good offensively. I'm curious if they can kind of get back to where they've been more defensively.
Yeah, now getting into the FSU game, you said it's closer to Mississippi State than it would be to Tennessee. What would you put that at? Maybe 50-50?
I'd be right about 50-50. I'd be right around 50-50 in that game. Because I just think the dual threat aspect scares me, because we know Florida has struggled with these guys. I mean, we'll see. I think next week will tell me how I feel. Like win or lose, next week is going to tell me a lot about how I feel about the FSU game. Because if Marcel Reed just goes crazy, like he did last year, I'd probably be willing to bet it's going to be a nice night for Castellanos. But I not that I necessarily think he's better than Marcel Reed, but I just think he's dynamic, maybe more dynamic. Like, I think his running might be more dynamic. I think Marcel Reed's a better quarterback, but I think Castellanos, I just don't know how you stop it. I think it's very difficult to stop it completely. I think you can slow it down, but so yeah, I'd put it right around 50-50. I mean, I think FSU is not bad. Like, I don't think you're just going to dominate FSU like you did last year. But I still think their offense is not bad, but limited. Like, I think you're just going to see a lot of variance from them. I think it's going to look really good some weeks and going to look really not other weeks. I'm just not sure which version of that we're going to get.
Hey, the last time Florida played FSU with the interim coach, Greg Knox took off the big win.
It's true.
To get us to a bowl game. So are we looking at a similar position maybe?
Yeah. Although we've had a couple of these. We had the time before that with who was McElwain's interim? I'm trying to remember.
I was just about it wasn't Nussmeier. No. That couldn't have been Doug Nussmeier.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Nussmeier.
2017. Let's see.
It was Randy Shannon. It was Randy Shannon. Yep. That's right. I just forgot Randy Shannon was the defensive coordinator for the last year of McElwain.
Why does that name sound so familiar? What is he doing?
He was the Miami head coach for 4 years in the mid. He was the guy that came right after Larry Coker.
Yeah, and then everyone has been FSU.
And he's coached at FSU. He's coached everywhere in Florida. Yeah, he's been all over.
He's been at FSU since 2021, and then was at USF after he left Florida.
Yeah, he's a Florida lifer. He's been all over the place. He was a Miami player too. He played at Miami during their golden years.
Yeah, actually, he spent 1 year outside the state of Florida. Do you know what school that was? He was a linebacker. Or 2 years, actually. No.
Alabama.
TCU in Arkansas.
Okay. For some reason, I thought Saban might have had him as one of his rehabilitation projects at one point, but I guess not.
No, that was Gary Patterson. Gary Patterson rehabilitation.
Yeah.
But, no, the rest of the season outlook, like, there's a chance that they do something that feels unbelievable, that would be maybe the greatest comeback in college football coaching history. I mean, USC back in, 2016 or 2017, when Penn State that year as well, were both like started off pretty slow. I mean, USC made the QB change to Sam Darnold that really rejuvenated things for him. But they didn't have a playoff back then. And it's like those two teams, USC and Penn State, they made the Rose Bowl for a great game that year. Ended up being maybe two of the better teams in the country. And in a 12-team playoff era, maybe they would have gone on to do something special, but it wasn't. So it's something that wouldn't have been So if Bailey were to do it, it would be something never before seen to have those 3 losses and, kind of just go on some unbelievable trend and win a lot of football games. And if we do win out, I mean, Bama's probably the favorite to make the SEC title game, right? Undefeated in the SEC play still.
I mean, maybe you could argue Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah. Ole Miss doesn't play Bama, so
I think Bama is the team. I think Bama is the team that I think is playing the best football in the SEC right now, and they have the clearest path, but I still am a little bit skeptical.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, but if we do win out, finish 10-3, obviously making the playoffs, like, could we legit make a run? I mean, look at the schedule and look at the teams we beat. Like, would it be ridiculous to say that Florida would be like a top 3 favorite in the playoff if they did that?
It's no more ridiculous than it is to just say Florida wins the rest of its games.
That's a great point.
I guess is how I would answer that question.
That's a very great point right there. So, no, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out for sure. Man, this show has been going on pretty long now. We got to start getting to our Texas A&M stuff here. But are we just ready to get straight into it, I guess?
Yeah, we've been going for an hour and a half. I think it's probably time we talk about the game. The game that's coming up.
Yeah, we've kind of been avoiding it, so
yeah.
Florida versus Texas A&M, 7:00 game, night game. Of course, we play the road game. It's got to be a night game.
Yeah.
Miami, night game. LSU, night game. Texas A&M now, it's going to be a night game. I mean, Ole Miss will end up being a night game probably.
I bet this wouldn't have been a night game if we lost yesterday. This probably is like a 4:00 game on SEC Network.
No, this has been confirmed. This was last week confirmed to be a night game. It's just 7
really?
or 7:30. Yeah.
I saw it. Like I saw someone post the time today as if it had gotten announced today. I guess that wasn't the case. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was last week. It was announced that either us or the 7:30 game, Georgia Auburn. So we're on ESPN. Georgia Auburn's on ABC. They're just trying to figure out which one of those games would.
So we were locked into either the ESPN or the ABC slot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because Georgia, Texas. I mean, that game is normally at noon, but so they're doing it at 3:30 this year. I wonder if maybe that has something to do with it. They didn't want to do it at night game, maybe. I'm not sure, but I mean, if Georgia, Texas, if they wanted that game to be the night game, I'm pretty sure it would have been at least the ESPN game, like probably.
Yeah.
So we got a night game at Texas A&M. I remember when we were previewing this game earlier on in June or July, we both left that preview saying, hey, this A&M team might be better than we both thought before we end up doing this. And so far, A&M's looked pretty good. I mean, at points, UTSA and Utah State have put some worry for me on that Texas A&M defense. I mean, UTSA, they ran for over 200 yards on Texas A&M.
I worry more about the Notre Dame. The Notre Dame showing is the one that has me more like, because I can look like it's just that I can look past you not playing that well against a G5 team defensively when you then follow it up and play really well defensively against Auburn and Mississippi State. You know what I mean?
I mean, Auburn offense is basically a G5 team.
I mean, okay, maybe, but it's just saying, like, they still show. I mean, they literally did. The only touchdown Auburn scored in that game was on like a 90-yard interception return to like the 4. So
yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Kenpo here. Napier's last game, if UF loses, I think would need to be a pretty embarrassing loss.
I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Yeah, I think winning yesterday locked him until Georgia. Assume if you lose the next 2, if you lose Saturday and then lose to Mississippi State, I think going into the bye, it's definitely over. But if you lose Saturday and it's not the most embarrassing result of all time, and then you beat Mississippi State, he's definitely staying through the bye. So,
yeah, he's definitely getting the Georgia game out, and we'll see what happens after the Georgia game. But getting more into this game, I still not sold on that Texas A&M defense. I mean, they shut down Auburn, although Jackson Arnold is not a good QB, and their offensive line has not been good. I mean, kind of like ours a bit, although ours I think has been a bit better. I mean, the Texas game, it was better than anything Auburn showed. So you got that, but and Mississippi State's offensive line as well. They're missing 2 starters, and already wasn't a really great offensive line. I mean, Mississippi State's offensive line is arguably the reason they lost to Tennessee, just giving up that blindside sack to Blake Shapen, which resulted in a fumble strip sack touchdown. So I think that Mississippi State offense has some fatal flaws, and it being the offensive line, to where if maybe Tennessee's front seven and defense isn't as good as it was last year and we thought, but maybe A&M still has a lot of talent in their front seven. So where they can still, if you have a bad offensive line, they can still get a lot of pressure on you and stop you from scoring. Fluff Bothwell also got hurt.
Yeah.
In that Texas A&M Mississippi State game. And
that's tough.
Booth is a good running back, but it's like they have great running. I think Mississippi State has a really good duo of running backs, but the offensive line does not back it up at all. So that kind of eliminates a pretty big factor of your offense. And the receivers for Mississippi State aren't great either. I think they got really good running backs. I think Blake Shapen's a good QB, and they have a really great system and play caller. Or is Jeff Libby a play caller?
Yes.
Yes. So it's like they got some good things. They just have like a couple fatal flaws there, to where if a team can't take advantage of it, your offense is going to put up some points. But if a team can, then you're going to get shut down at a pretty high level, like Mississippi State, like Texas A&M did to Mississippi State. So I'm worried about this A&M defense, and if our offensive improvement isn't just a one-time fluke deal for Texas, I could see us being able to put some points up here on Texas A&M and making this a very, very interesting game coming the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's impossible. I think at the very least, you can probably run the ball, at least initially. I mean, then it's a question of what's Lagway doing, and is he making it so that you can't just load up the box? Because even Texas was doing that a little bit at times on Saturday, it seemed. So, I think teams still think that they can get one over on us by making Lagway have to throw it over their head. And I mean, I think he showed he can on Saturday. I will say I'm a little bit. I think Texas A&M's defense may be taking steps in the right direction. Like, yes. I think, first of all, I think Notre Dame's offense might just be really good. I mean, honestly, I think Notre Dame might just have a very good offense. So that's part of that. And I mean, also, like, I think they've got some guys. I mean, I think the one that stands out is Torian York. He's been balling.
Yes.
The linebacker for Texas A&M. Like, if you look at his numbers, he does lead them in tackling, but like aside from that, nothing like crazy, but he is just all over the place. Just like an instincts guy, like just has like a nose for the ball and making a play. So that's, someone that I think will make things a little difficult.
You knew who plays next to him. That's where you get
it's Scooby. It's Scooby. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they did lose a ton on defense. So like the fact that if they did have taken a step back, I mean, it's not really a surprise. I mean, Cassius Howell, I will say,
taking a step back. Whoa. I mean, you know how the A&M defense ended the year? They had the good showing against Texas, but like, I mean, they gave up 40 plus to Auburn. They gave up that bad game they gave a lot of points in the bowl game to USC. And
yeah, I mean, bowl games are fake, but I hear you.
They gave up like 40 to South Carolina as well.
Yeah.
So I would say it would be taking a step back if they weren't playing good defense.
I still think it probably looks like, I mean, if it is what it looks like, it's probably, I mean, I think, well, talent-wise, it undoubtedly is taken. They lost
talent-wise, yes.
They lost 2 top 2 round draft picks on the defensive line. So, but I will say Cassius Howell, who kind of took a backseat to those guys last year, has 7 sacks this year. So like, he's been a guy, Austin Barber going up against Colin Simmons held up for the most part. I don't know how many times Lagway got pressured in this game. Sacked none. He definitely had some pressure, like got pressured a handful of times, but nothing crazy. So I think that was encouraging to see from the tackle spots. But yeah, I mean, I think the defense is certainly the weakness of this team, because as we'll get into, I think offensively they're very good. Even though they didn't have a good game against Auburn, which is a pretty good defense, I think this is a really good Texas A&M offense.
Yeah, this Texas A&M offense, like Marshall Reed may have been like one of the biggest like question marks of like if he hits, this A&M offense could be really good, and he's hit so far. I mean, we talked about earlier in the show or before the show, I can't remember. Marshall Reed did have a bad interception in the second quarter against Mississippi State, so he is prone to those. I mean, 3 interceptions so far. I mean, Lagway has a lot, so can't really say too much there.
Well, this is still far and away the best offense Florida's played
interceptions.
to this point. So that sounds right. Yeah, because just 5 in that one
5,
game. Yeah,
and then
1 in USF, 1 in yesterday,
Miami.
1
No,
in
no, okay,
Miami. None in Miami. None
no,
in
we did throw,
Miami.
so 7.
Yeah.
7.
So, but no, I mean, I think this is far and away the best offense Florida's played to this point in the year. I don't think it's even that close.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. And
I guess unless
you
really like USF's offense, but I don't to this extent.
No, I don't. I mean, that'd be pretty funny, but I mean,
it might be the second best offense. It might be the best offense after A&M.
Maybe, but
Nah,
no.
I'm kidding.
The story of this
Miami's
game,
better.
Miami's definitely better. USF or LSU though.
That one. It was not a joke. That one's not a joke. Then Texas is not a joke either. They actually might be better offensively than both those teams.
Yeah, but as we look at this Texas A&M defense, I mean, Will Lee has been a great corner. How's their safety play? I mean, I remember Bryce Anderson had to get taken to the hospital. I assume he's not playing. I mean,
yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what the latest is on that.
Let me actually just look that up real quick. I mean, promising news on latest SEC injury report. I guess that's for Bryce Anderson. They had a bye week so far, so I mean, we did too. So it's I'm not finding anything here. Yeah, I'm not finding anything on the injury report. There was just kind of some nonsense there, but I mean, if Lagway's playing good ball, if Lagway's playing good ball like he did against Texas, Texas clearly has a lot more talent than Texas A&M does on defense.
Do they?
I mean, yeah. Right?
They've got like better like top end players for sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're probably right. I also just don't I mean, look, Lagway had a really good game, but the offense as a whole still could have done more than it did. I mean, the offense as a whole
I think a lot of that was Billy Napier sitting on the ball in the second half.
Well, maybe, but
which if we get into that position against A&M, I mean,
then you're in a shootout and you need to be scoring because like that's the problem is like maybe I'm missing your point.
My point was if we get into that same position where we're holding on to the ball, which makes the offense look like it could be doing more, then, but like if the offense play, I think because the offense in the first half, I mean, touchdown drive, then we had the field goal. I can't remember exactly what we got stuffed on, but I mean, still got a field goal. Then Hayden Hansen fumbled. And then we had a touchdown drive, probably, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And then I think both teams may have punted then we got immediately after that touchdown drive, I'm pretty sure we got the blocked punt. Yeah. And then we got like conservative. We got like pretty conservative at the end of the second half. And then, so we were up 19-7. And then early on the second half, it was pretty conservative, but we hit the big play to Dallas Wilson. And then they just that's when the offense kind of just stops. Like, I thought the offense in the first half was moving at a pretty high level, especially against this Texas defense.
Yeah, I mean, especially early in the game, like the first couple like the first like quarter, it just because I think was it 10-0 at the end of the first?
End of the first, probably, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the offense was moving, but I'm just saying, like they moved in the LSU game too, but they weren't scoring. True. So, like that is my concern because I think you have to score in this game because I don't think you can just sit on a 15-point lead for 2.5 quarters the way you did yesterday against A&M.
Okay, that's a fair point.
I don't think you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, that's a fair point there. You can't just sit on. But would Billy play like he's sitting on it if A&M gets it closer? I mean, because that's one thing. Billy hasn't blown these big leads, has he?
He hasn't blown it, but that is his MO to do that. Like that is how he wants games to play out. He wants to get up 15 or get up 2 scores, hold it. Maybe they cut it to within 4, and then you stop them on the last drive of the game and you win by 4. Like that's how Billy wants to win these games. Like that is the way that Billy coaches.
Okay, Rob, look at the difference with the scores. I mean, Sark draws up more wide open. Cormani getting beat 1-on-1. We have receivers winning 1-on-1 as well. Like Texas receiver 1-on-1. I mean, Vernell Brown won 1-on-1. J. Michael Certival did have a win on 1-on-1 that probably didn't touchdown flag. We throws it to him. Like your receiver winning 1-on-1 isn't something that Florida doesn't do. having the QB get it to him at a consistent rate, which Arch didn't do for Texas. I mean, if you're going to hit on Billy Napier for the fact that we haven't scored at a high level, which you can, that's 100% plausible. It's like Texas doing the same thing that was kind of happening to us in our games. Like, I don't think you can praise Texas for doing that. Like, if you're going to hate on Billy for doing the same thing. I mean, ball making the unbelievable move. Like, it's the red zone, you know. Players got to make plays. Like, DJ getting hit on the slant to Dallas, I honestly don't know exactly what happened there. I mean, we scored a touchdown. Like, it's a slant route against the top level defense. So, like, I'm not really sure what we're pointing out here.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure the point we're making. I think the idea is pretty good, but I feel like you're just using pretty bad points. I don't know. Maybe that's just
I mean, I don't think anyone, I mean, I would never dispute that Sark is a much better play caller than Billy Napier is. I mean, I still think the offense has, like, I mean, I think, you know, what gives me pause is just like, I think we haven't really seen DJ do it on the road. Is one thing that does give me pause. Like, I think you're gonna be putting him in a much tougher environment. And I mean, we'll just see if that was real or if that was, because I mean, he hasn't looked like, as much as we've said DJ's been bad, it's not like every single throw has been bad. Like, there's been plays even sprinkled in his bad games where it's like, well, there you can see it there. Like, you can see the vision, the potential there.
I think there Miami and LSU.
Maybe not Miami. LSU, yeah. I mean, he threw for 300 yards in that game. Like, it's not.
Yeah, but like a lot of that was pretty underneath. Like, I don't remember him throwing deep on anything. Like, he threw some.
I mean, I'm not even saying deep. I'm not even saying deep. Just like making. Just making plays.
Yeah, I'm maybe making those short plays. I'm talking about like actually getting big gains. Like
we just don't really have a very explosive passing off. I mean, that Dallas Wilson play was like the first thing we've done like that.
We had to play. They played a Vernell Brown as well.
True.
J. Michael Certified had two. I mean, he had a 19 and like a 20-something yarder. You said, last night. So I mean, there's those two big plays. Is that it? So 3 and 4
that come to mind. Yeah.
So I mean, 420 plus 155, 250 plus. I mean, the pass to Vernell Brown. You say it was like 60 yards.
Yeah, I think something like it's like 60.
So
60 exactly.
So 2 55-yard passes. I mean, those are our 2 longest passes of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
They have
in that Texas game. I mean, the Vernell Brown catch, I think, was like 40. So in week 1. So yeah, our 2 longest passes of the season. So if also
like the Dallas one, like, I mean, that dude just like fell. Like, I'm not like, there was no play design. Like, the dude straight up like got shoved, like lost a shoving match and fell to the ground. And Dallas.
Well, I mean, I saw someone saying that Dallas just like actually just like outmaneuvered him like with his footwork, like just one-on-one. And then
there were some hands being traded though. Like, I don't think that guy falls to the ground.
I mean, that's what happens when you press.
But what I'm saying is Dallas won the press, but like he didn't just outmaneuver him. Like he knocked his ass to the ground, knocked him to the ground, basically. You know what I mean? So
yeah, which is what you do right there.
No, but my point is like that's not like genius schematic setup. That's just a guy beasting in a one-on-one matchup, which is fine. I'm not being critical of that, but I also don't think there was like things Billy did schematically in that game where I'm like, wow, this is like a whole new offense. Like, no, it's just, getting the ball to your best players.
It's about matchups. Sark gets his slots on linebackers. I'm sure we've gotten our slots on linebackers before. I mean, I don't pay exactly attention, but like I'm sure we've had matchups we like. I mean, we run pretty similar offensive sets. Like Sark's is maybe a bit more complex or a bit more creative than ours, but like, like they all come from the same family of the Shanahan, right?
Do they?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, because Sarkisian's background is like Sarkisian was a Pete Carroll guy. Sarkisian's like the West Coast USC like classic Pete Carroll thing. That was his background. Billy's background was with Dabo. I'm not really sure like where his like schematic influence comes from.
He just made it up from Madden, but no.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. I mean, the offense had a good game. I mean, what were we last talking about when we're talking about this A&M game? I feel we kind of got off track here.
We did. We were talking about the defense. We haven't really talked much about A&M's offense yet.
All right, so let's talk a bit more about this Texas A&M offense versus this Florida defense. I mean, they've been putting up points on everybody. 41 against Texas A&M. They put What end up did they put up? What amount did they end up putting on Mississippi State? Like 35?
31.
31. Okay, so 31 on Mississippi State, and 16, as you mentioned, against a good Auburn defense. I mean, could that? How much better is Auburn's defense than Florida?
I mean, I don't know if it's a lot better. It's probably pretty similar.
So if Auburn's play style, and Texas A&M played that game a lot like, prove you can beat us, Auburn. Like, they made a lot of safe, conservative decisions. Hey, if Billy makes those decisions, a lot of people get mad at him. So I gotta say that before.
I think Florida's offense is more volatile. Like, I think Florida's offense could do a lot more in this game than Auburn's was able to. But I think Florida's offense could also have a ton of turnovers and set up A&M to score points with short fields and stuff like that. Like,
does Auburn's offense not do that? I mean,
I don't think Auburn has a lot. I mean, Jackson Arnold hasn't been throwing a ton of interceptions or anything. He just gets sacked a lot because their offensive line's not very good. Yeah,
which gives you better field position.
He hasn't thrown an interception this year.
Wait, really?
No, he has 5 touchdowns, no picks.
5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he played Deuce Bryant may have actually came in for.
But he's been sacked. Wait, time out. Guess how many times Jackson Arnold has been sacked.
Okay. Well,
in 5 games.
I know he got sacked 10 times against Oklahoma. I think he may have got sacked
an SEC record, by the way.
I think he may have got sacked 6 times against A&M. And then I mean USF couldn't. I mean, not USF, but South Alabama couldn't sack him too many times. Maybe once or twice, and then I feel like Baylor got sacked maybe once. I'm gonna say 22.
It's actually it's 20. He's been sacked 20 times.
The numbers actually said it came out to 20, and I just added 2 for
So he's on pace to get sacked 48 times in the regular season.
Jesus, I mean that's just absolutely insane. JLB, what's up? Hello, JLB. Arnold takes 1 million sacks. He sucks. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
So A&M kind of just sat on that game and said, hey, Auburn proved to beat us. I mean, like us, they had 0 third down conversions, like how we did against Miami. And Miami coached the same way kind of in the game where how Texas A&M did against Auburn, where just hey, prove you can beat us before we actually start getting a bit creative and, taking some riskier game-winning plays. So maybe the offense could have put up more points. I don't know exactly how that game went for the offense for A&M, but maybe it could have. Maybe that Texas A&M offense, if they face a real defense. I mean, Notre Dame's defense gave up 27 to Miami. That's solid performance, I guess. And then they shut down Arkansas, but Arkansas also kind of gave up.
Yeah, but they were never in it. I mean, I thought that they would lose pretty big, but I thought they would lose 45 to 28. You know what I mean? I thought they'd lose, still scoring some points, but not. I mean, Arkansas's offense is legitimately pretty good.
It is, yes, but they kind of just gave up in that Notre Dame game. So I feel like the question is still out on that Notre Dame defense. Is my point there? So how good is this Texas A&M offense? It's interesting because we've seen the highs and the lows. And I feel like, we might just get the answer here on the Florida game. If Texas A&M scores less than 20 points, does Florida win?
Probably, but I don't feel like it's a guarantee.
Probably, but you don't feel like it's guaranteed. Okay,
I think I wouldn't bet. I'm not sure I'd bet on it, but in all likelihood, yeah, I would guess you probably do win if you hold them to 17 or whatever. Kind of. I don't really get the feeling that's the way this game's gonna.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
I know. I get it. I'm saying
game went.
That's my point. Is I'm saying that would be holding them to way fewer points than I expect to. So I probably have to say if they overperform my expectations that much, that Florida probably wins is my point.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How many points is A&M? What point would you get to where if I said this amount, does A&M win on that scale?
24 plus.
24 plus. Okay. Well, how many points? So how many points would I need to say for you to feel confident Florida wins?
20. Actually, no. No, honestly, probably also Well, also probably 24.
No. How many points do I need to guarantee you Florida gets for them to win?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like 24.
So you don't think Florida could lose like a 31-24 type of game?
No, I really don't. I'm not buying into I'm not buying back. I'm not buying back into the offense to that degree yet. I'm not there. I'm really not there.
No, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying here.
I guess I'm not.
If I said Florida scores 24 points, do you think there's a chance we'd lose this game?
I think there's a chance, but I'd say it's pretty likely that they don't.
Do you think I'm saying wait?
Okay. I don't know. There's a disconnect here somewhere. I'm very confused.
I'm saying, how many points do I need to give you for Florida to score to where you're 100% confident or very confident Florida wins this game?
31.
31?
Yeah,
okay.
31. Sorry, yeah, I get what you're saying. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, 30. I'd say like 31. I'd say 31? If you're hitting 30, if you're scoring 30, defense probably came through enough to hold them to like 28 at least.
We're going to lose 32-31 now just because of that. No, but the chat here, JLB, shows are talking about this is the ability Annual win a game, craps bed the rest of the year. Yeah, I saw year 1, year 2. Didn't see it last year because we won the games at the end of the year. So that was kind of interesting.
Which really, I mean, only 2 of those 4 were anything special. Like 1.5 of those 4, but still
1.5. But yeah, rivals if you have fun if you're extended, of course.
That is true. They do.
Rob, 83 points. So Rob sees a world where we can score 82 points and lose this game. I like it. It's like the
that'd be the funniest way Billy could get fired. That would be the funniest way Billy could possibly get
fired. Does Billy get fired if we lose 83-82?
Yes. 100%. Giving up 80 points in an SEC game?
But he also scored 82 points. The defense is the problem, which he doesn't control. Like, that's not his fault.
Yeah. He probably would try to argue that. He'd be like, it's not my ask Ron Roberts, man. That's a Ron Roberts problem.
We got to evaluate what we did differently. All right. What else do we got to talk? I mean, A&M's kicking situation I know is a bit of a issue for them. Could that play a factor here? I know Randy Bond got benched, but the other kicker got hurt. I don't know if that kicker is back or not, but I mean, Randy Bond had a solid game against Auburn, so maybe he's improved, maybe he hasn't, but maybe that could be something that comes down as a factor in this game.
So their kicking issues have really just been 50 plus is what it seems.
Okay.
From looking at it. I mean, he's perfect under 40. He's 4 of 5 under 49. And then he's 0 of 3 from 50 plus with a long of 49. So, I mean, I think it's just, I don't know if it's kicking issues.
Well, I remember he was pretty bad last year. I remember he missed like a chip shot against us last year.
Well, point being, I think the deal with him, it might just be that it's a tight range, like not necessarily unreliable, just like a tight range. I mean, he was 20 of 24 last year. He had 1 miss under 40 on 12 tries. So
2 or 3
he was pretty solid. Yeah, he was pretty solid last year. Not like amazing, but serviceable.
Oh, 6 of 10 this year. 1.
And then this other dude has tried 1, and it was a 37-yarder, and he made it. So who knows?
Yeah, I think that's the guy that's hurt though. But I mean, maybe. I mean, Florida's defense in the Miami game. Remember how many times Miami punted in their own territory? Maybe A&M tries to kick those field goals instead, and that could play a factor. I mean, mentioned playing safe, like how they did against Auburn. Maybe they feel like they got to actually play more aggressive against Florida and put more points on the board. So that could be something we look at as a factor.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, especially because I think Florida's kicking, I mean, special teams. Look, I've been waiting for something in the special teams like that block punt for a while. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That was a really awesome moment there. The crowd just went wild. The environment was crazy for that game, and it's going to be crazy for A&M, I bet, as well, for this game. So maybe Billy can do something that he's never done before. But let's get into our predictions here. Florida at number 5, Texas A&M. Who do you got? What's your score prediction? I think I know who you have, but what's your score prediction?
Yeah, I have A&M, and you're probably going to be kind of disappointed by my score prediction. I don't have it that bad, but I'm at like 27-14.
Okay. That's
That's
fair.
kind of where I don't think A&M's going to go crazy offensively, but I think they'll move the ball pretty well. I mean, look, I think this A&M offense is I mean, you can talk about how they've performed, but just talent wise, I think they're really loaded. I think the offensive line's very good. Marcel Reed is talented. He's been a little inconsistent, but he's talented. Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver have been really good. The receivers, Ruben Owens, Le'Veon Moss, 2 really good running backs. Like, there's really not a weakness on this offense, as far as I can tell. I mean, if there's anything, it's maybe just Marcel Reed being a little unpredictable. But he doesn't really have a lot of limitations in terms of what he can and can't do. It's just about taking care of the football. So, I mean, Florida needs to force turnovers. I think forcing turnovers are like absolute must if you're going to win this game. But I that's kind of, I'm leaning towards the offense is not terrible, but regresses back to the mean a little bit. And the defense kind of for the first time gives up some points and kind of struggles to stay in it.
I've been kind of keeping a little secret card up my sleeve this show. There's one thing I haven't mentioned yet, this show, at least. I was told if we lost to Texas, there was all the rumors that Lagway is going to redshirt. Obviously, he played the Texas game, so those were put to bed. But if Lagway were to quit and, get surgery or something after the rest of the season, it would be after the A&M game. This is his homecoming from Willis, Texas, just under an hour away from College Station. So A&M is basically the home team. He's going to have a bunch of family at this game. I think the offensive improvement is still going to be there. I think we're playing some pretty decent offensive football. I mean, it's still Billy Napier offensive football, so what that entails is what that entails. But I think Lagway is going to have a good game. This A&M defense is going to give up some points, but I do like this A&M offense. And as you said with Reed, the biggest question is what's the wacky thing he's going to do? What's the dumb thing he's going to do? Is he going to make that triple coverage throw and throw it straight to the defender, which he could do?
I mean, Lagway could do that too. Lagway has the same problem.
Exactly, yes. But I think Lagway's going to have a great game. However, I am going to take A&M in a close one. I'm going to take A&M to win this 33-30.
Wow, so you really think the offense is fixed? Like, you think even going on the road with 100,000 people, you think the offense?
I just don't think this A&M defense is that great.
Okay.
I think we're going to be able to run on this A&M team. I think Lagway is going to hit some deep shots on him. I think, as I said, I don't think the run game is proven to be that great. The run defense. And then I think it's going to cause them to be a bit more aggressive, and Lagway is going to have a really good game. I just think Billy Napier is going to cost us this game somehow because it's on the road, and he hasn't won a big game on the road yet. In his
12 men
Florida
on the
tenure.
field on a field goal. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it in my veins.
A&M's going to win on a last-second field goal. There you go. And it's going to be because why is A&M going to have the ball? They're really good field position. Player's going to spit on him. A&M player, no. I don't know, but it's going to be something that Napier's going to get a lot of hate for, but I'm going to take A&M to win 33-30, a bit higher scoring.
How about like when the kick return, like they kick the short ball and then they like struggled to field it, something like that.
Kick the short. What do you mean?
Like when Texas was kicking off and like we kind of struggled to field a kick, like lost some yardage on it.
Yeah. And let me address some comments here.
Guys, the helmet thing,
Billy couldn't do anything.
Texas was going to decline. Texas can decline the 10-second runoff. So
all taking the timeout did was allow Austin Barber to play.
Yeah. So, it basically is a question of what's more valuable, the timeout or having your left tackle on the field, probably the left tackle than the time. The timeout wasn't really going to be needed in all likelihood.
Yeah. Unless Texas hit some miracle play, which they end up not hitting early on.
Now, my like sort of conspiratorial question here is, because we know Billy Napier pretty questionable with game management stuff at times. Did he know that Texas was going to could decline it, or did he decide that having Barber back on the field was better than running off the 10? That's what I want to know. Which he probably did know that, but
yeah, I think that's. I remember I was driving when we were riding home or listening to 103.7, and they were talking about it, and they're like, "Hey, maybe did Billy even know?" But Rob, the idiot, doesn't understand the helmet rule. The play to stop the stop, play, run off 10 seconds and start the clock. And on ready to play 25 seconds, he thought the clock stops, period. No, so our player's helmet came off. Barber's. So Texas was able to start to decline the 10-second runoff, and the clock stops, period. So because of the rules. So we wouldn't have saved any time by Billy taking a timeout.
Is that? I don't think that's how that works.
That's what I understand. I'm pretty sure it's weird how the rules.
I'm saying what Rob's latest comment. I'm saying I don't think that's how it works. Yeah. Like I don't think the clock would have. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think that's how that works though.
Someone posted the rule book and explained it. I can't exactly go into detail. I remember exactly, but I just know calling that timeout had zero to do with the play clock. Play clock is the same no matter what.
The game clock, you mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Game clock.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah. Game clock. It has zero to do with the game clock. It would have been the same time, just missing your left tackle, your one of your best offensive linemen, Austin Barber. So the same play happened with Arch. What are you guys talking about? We were on defense and Arch's helmet came off.
They subbed Arch out though. So
but they didn't call it. No timeouts were called.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have any. And the clock starts on their whistle because they were on offense. Like it's weird how the rules work, but Billy made the right call. I know as much as we want to. I think the bigger question is like, why did we get so conservative? Like running 3 straight times to Colin Simmons.
Also, his timeout management in the first half was bad. Like he had bad timeout management in the first half.
We should have had another possession there. I mean, also when we got that stop on 3rd down or 2nd down, he waited like 10 seconds to call the timeout. So it didn't matter. They could just need the ball there. I think there was like 41 seconds before the play. So just take a second and then you send to halftime. I mean, which basically happened. I was so confused why Texas was even sending out the punt team onto the field. Like they didn't snap the ball, of course, but like why'd they even send them out there? Like
I don't know what that was about.
That was just kind of weird. Like just start running to the locker room. Like just what normally happens. But we've been live 2-hour show. Talked about a lot of stuff here. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here because if Florida finds a way to beat Texas A&M, that's when things get real interesting. That's when I think we have serious conversations about can Billy save his job. And then, because like if you beat Georgia especially, then if we find a way to win out to that Georgia game, I think there's a decent chance Billy saves his job. Like probably more likely than it is that he saves his job if we win out in that Georgia game
including the Georgia game.
Yes, including.
Well, yeah, because I mean, at that point, if you've beaten A&M, Georgia, and Texas, like, yeah, he's probably not getting fired.
Unless we collapse, which would be a possibility because it's Billy Napier, but
yeah,
you would have to think that team is at least going 8-4, or 7-5 is still potential there, but like. You would think 8-4 at that point would be pretty likely at a minimum. I mean, it's hard to predict here.
I just really don't see it, to be honest with you.
No.
Just because it's like last year it was the defense coming along and a quarterback that was basically unscouted. Like everyone knows what Billy's offense is. Billy's offense is very easy to stop unless you just or literally don't have the talent to stop it.
Yeah.
But it's just I have a hard time believing they're just going to keep catching teams off guard the way they caught Texas off guard. And I just don't think the Texas is very good. It's kind of where I stand right now. Like I'm not convinced they're very good at all.
Well, you've also just said you probably even picked Texas to beat Oklahoma if they had John Mateer.
I'm not sure. I think Oklahoma. I mean, I think Oklahoma is not a top 5 team in the country at all. Like,
okay, I'd agree with that. Who's good? Then who's good?
I mean, I think there's 5 teams in the SEC I think are better than Oklahoma. Like, I think Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, A&M, maybe Texas, but probably not. like probably not actually Texas. Like I just would have considered it because I just think that it might be a bad matchup for Oklahoma. But I mean, I think Alabama, if I didn't say them, but like, yeah, I mean, I just don't think they're up in that tier. Because I just think they're kind of a one-man show and they haven't really had to play anybody. I mean, well, maybe Michigan's all right. Michigan might be pretty good. Like maybe potential playoff team there. We'll see. But
yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. It's hard to predict. I mean, it's Billy Napier. We could win this game and lose to Mississippi State. Like, you kind of just gotta let the games get played. You just gotta let the ball get spotted. No, I had to throw that in there, but no, that's gonna be it for this show, guys. It was a great show here. Predictions. I mean, again, there's just not much we can say because you're still 2-3 even after a big win, and even if you beat A&M, you're still 3-3. So
yeah,
we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it on that. Thank you guys for joining us on this Sunday night. We'll be live after the Texas A&M game for a post-game show, and it could get real interesting if we win. So just be prepared for some really weird talks if that happens. But we'll see you guys then. I hope you guys have a great week, and make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next time. And as always, go Gators.